and welcome to Wednesday Night Modern at Nerd Rage Gaming. I really hope the mics are hot while we're talking, so they just heard us go like whoosh in time with the dragon. So if you don't know, that's what happens when the dragon is doing his sound effects for the stream. We're recreating them here in the booth. Anyway, we're gonna go live to George's feature match. Just kidding, he has a bye this round, but somebody's already asking where he's at. So instead, we are gonna have Sam versus David on Hammer Time versus what we believe is Hollow One. The only card I saw in David's deck was um, SpongeBob Mountain.
Such a beautiful
Oh,
mountain.
okay, definitely it's Hollow One. Yeah, I saw the what do you call it? The Street Wraith.
Oh yes, yeah. Mako here being a huge addition from Aether Drift, giving Hollow One the ability to just have a giant one drop super early. Used to be Flame Wake. Whoa, what was it? The
Flame
one,
Lake Phoenix.
the one-
Oh
the,
no,
the one
Flame
drop.
Blade Adept.
Flame Blade Adept used to be something that would temporarily get a buff from like a Burning Inquiry, but Mako has the advantage of just getting counters, and so it can just be a permanently big threat for the rest of the game.
Yeah. We also forgot to introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm May. That's Jack.
We
We're
do,
pointing at each other.
we do the thing. We're online
Yeah.
doing the thing.
So the thing is, Dom is the person who's usually he's the lead guy. We're the backup. So this is double backup tonight, doing our best. Um, was it? Oh, with a leyline axe. I was like, what even card is that from
So
Sam?
Hammer taking advantage here of just the ability to play super low resources. Like Hollow One is one of those decks where you don't know what you're going to have, right? It's a high variance deck. You can either have 4 Hollow Ones on turn 1 or just discard all your lands and never play the game again. The Hammer Time deck having the opposite issue of you can play out all your cards super fast, but sometimes like the ceiling of your deck isn't high enough to take out what your opponent's doing. We saw that a lot in the previous format, right? When you would just go, oh, I'm comboing off. Sam might hit you for 10, 11, 12 damage. If it's not poison, though, you could just combo kill him on the backswing.
I also am now looking at the cards in David's hands, and I see a Mox Opal and a Monument to Endurance. So I think I was wrong. I think this is some sort of Asmo food something or other. Like
Mm.
I don't think
You're
this is
taking
Hollow One after all.
yeah, you're taking the reads. I see a Monument of Endurance, so that might definitely be it. This might be a different deck that's trying to do something kind of novel. We might not have seen it before.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, Street Wraith means Hollow One, but maybe not. I mean, you still get this 3/3, which is going to be on blocking duty, maybe. Worried about a hammer becoming attached immediately. Oh no, we're still finishing resolving the faithless looting.
Discarding Monument, Sam making sure that he understands what that does in case it comes back somehow, or if he plays a second one.
Goblin Engineer would bring it back. There's Street Wraith. See, I successfully identified one card.
You know what you're doing. I respect it. Street Wraith, notorious. You can just throw it in any deck, and you really can't. It's hard to read like what the card is doing at any given time. Good
Put
free
it.
discard outlet.
Would you
Great.
put it in goblins?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, like there was actually one time where we did brew with 4 Bauble, 4 Street Wraith, and you just play a combo deck. So like, why not just like play more combo or less cards so that your combo is easily found? The issue with that is sometimes your deck just doesn't. You cycle them, you redraw, and you just draw lands.
Yeah. So you made your deck for 8 cards smaller, but then you also have 8 less action cards. So your combo is theoretically more consistent, but also given that it's a variance, you're still
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough too because you still play 24 lands, right? And so you're
right,
like,
right.
you might just find lands. Just a quick back and forth here. Is that a hammer? That's a Colossus hammer.
Oh, because it's the Assassin's Creed card. It's pick up all my equipments, put it on this guy.
Ooh, that's pretty strong. And that's the game. Before damage, double strike, and trample, and the Colossus hammer enough to just push that damage through.
The Assassin's Creed art also gives double strike.
No, the Leyline Axe does.
Oh, the leyline axe does. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I was like, what's going on? What's the double strike?
Yeah, so Battlefield Improvisation is 2 mana for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If that creature's attacking, you may attach any number of equipment you control to it. One of those subtle buffs that these Universes Beyond sets are giving to these Eternal formats where, we might not know all these cards because we're like, Universes Beyond, but these competitive players are watching diligently for anything that could give their deck an edge. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a flash of goblins.
There was goblins.
I may be seeing things.
The heart sees what it wants to see, I suppose.
It's true.
This looks like a pretty good guess based on what we saw: faithless looting, marauding Mako, Asmo, monument to endurance.
So you had a really good read here. You were like Asmo because you saw the Mox Opal. I could see some really crazy turns here where you can like turn to a Blood Moon, maybe turn to like just get so much value that you just can't be beat. Like getting an Inti down after casting a Ragavan and then having an Asmo in a position to just shoot all your opponent's things on turn 3, that seems amazing.
Yeah. Bringing in Shattering Spree probably is good here. Pyroclasm might be fine. Blood Moon not going to do it. Leyline not going to do it. Mage Vein Lizard not going to do it.
Tears. Sometimes your sideboard doesn't really line up the way that you need it to, but I mean, we saw game 1, what they're trying to do, just go fast, pressure the life total, get there.
Yeah. Uh, so probably the Hammer Time deck just looking to do the exact same thing. Just
Oh,
oh,
Sam.
we're trying to find a hammer deck, but Sam, a true believer, much like Jack and I, we have our deck that we love and we play it basically no matter what. But honestly, maybe hammer is well positioned. The hammer in that people forgot how to play against it, right? So people don't necessarily remember. They're not respecting it. All sorts of things like that.
I remember back when Murktide was huge. Oh, here we go. So it looks like in the side of this one, we got 4 Hushbringer, we got 3 Consign, an Arms Chant, 2 Wear Tears, a Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Pithing Needle, and 2 Soul Guide Lantern. What would you bring in, May?
Probably Pithing Needle. The Asmo deck is going to rely on foods and Asmo activations, so that's pretty good. Probably Orm's Chant. Probably not going to do it. Consign. I don't think there's going to be enough stuff to consign. Honestly, you don't want to what do you call it? You don't want to water down your thing so much. So there's not a lot of things that you probably want to cut here. You're just like, no, I killed you out of nowhere on turn 3, so I'm just going to do that again.
Yeah, I would say this is probably a race, and so in that situation, maybe you shave some of your more grindy cards. Maybe you shave a Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe you shave a
The
one,
Nettle Cyst.
yeah, something else, just to have some slightly better cards in the matchup. But we're jumping back in. David on the play, leading it off with a Faithless Looting, looking at some cards. Hardest part about Faithless Looting is you pick up those cards, and then you gotta put 2 in the
Yeah, you gotta
graveyard.
get it. You gotta put you back. Yeah, and drawing an Asmo off the Faithless Looting, so you don't even get to cast it right away.
Pain.
Always, yeah, pain. Exactly.
Ink Moth coming down.
Ink Moth, Boots, Memnite, Ornithopter. Okay.
And this is why you play Meltdown, ladies and gentlemen. This is why I love Meltdown so much. If we pass back to David here and he has a Meltdown, he just goes Meltdown X is 0, or even 1.
Yeah,
Like either way, you're in a great spot. But not having that, it looks like he doesn't have a
doesn't
second
have a second
land.
land.
He has to try to hold this Pyroclasm, hoping that nothing bad happens, which is never really where you want to be. Plays a Flooded Strand.
I think Sam is just yeah, get in for 1. So you're getting in for either for an extra 1. Has Leyline Axe in play or Leyline Axe in hand and Pure Steel. So has a lot of permanents on the board, but not a lot to like do with all of them.
Yeah, Inkmoth really awkward here because Pure Steel's double white, and so looking at those lands.
Buy another land again.
Oh, David here, trying to play the game. The cards don't really.
Oh, but at least they can deploy Asmo. So
Yeah, it
gets Asmo and can start shooting stuff. But
I feel like, yeah, this is the position where like Asmo single-handedly, if it lives, could potentially win David this game. If he's able to just shoot down like the necessary creatures on the combo turns, he can take 1s and 2s for the entire game. His game plan goes bigger than that. He just has to endure these few turns, and Asmo has to live.
yeah, and if Sam does something like draw another white source, deploy Paladin, and passes back to Dave, and Dave draws a mountain or draws any untapped land and plays Pyroclasm, that's gonna feel pretty good. And then Sam now has a bunch of permanents in play, 2 lands and a boots, not as threatening.
Yeah, Pyroclasm would be huge here, especially because Asmo could live and then start beating down.
Well, yeah, and he's got the Pyroclasm. He just needs a second land.
Yeah.
So here comes.
Something that looks like a land.
Yep.
Another white source.
I think it's all about to go to plan, just like I said.
Aww. Forced fruition. Maybe.
What are we doing? Yep. We're gonna go. We're fetching. Gotta fetch a plains.
I think he was going to shortcut it, but he wants to be sure, so he's grabbing the planes and then doing it after he shuffles in case there's something.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. A lot of times, you can shortcut. These players both know each other very well. They've played against each other multiple times. You can shortcut, but Sometimes
They certainly have the time.
yeah, sometimes on camera you just want to take a couple seconds, make sure that you do it correctly. Oh, Sam actually opting here to not.
Oh, we're spreading out the damage. So we're going to go, we're going on plan. Oh, no. Yeah. Blow up, eat, force feed the 2 foods to the Igmoth Nexus.
And I can understand where Sam was coming from. He wants to play around a Pyroclasm. He probably thinks, what is, David's one out here? And he's like, well, if I can just chip in every turn with my land, that's fine, but gets Stone Rained there by the Asmo.
The double cookbook here also means that we're looking at the Asmo can shoot 1 thing a turn.
Yeah, and Sam, sometimes like goblins, you can only present 1 important threat every turn. He could, it's symbolized by he can equip it anything that he wants. The issue is whatever he equips will just get killed.
Yep. Well, he can't pay the ward cost on the lava sport boots, so currently he's priced into taking 1 from this.
Ooh, that's true.
From this guy every turn. Oh, here comes
Oh, no.
Pyroclasm. Boom. Sorry about your permanence, bro. Yep. Pick him up.
Not the boots.
Yeah, not the boots. Boots stays.
Boots with the spurs.
Coming in for 3. And Sam can deploy the paladin here, but what's going to happen, or this
Stoneforge is good here.
Stoneforge is good. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is Stoneforge is going to die immediately.
And this is the sequence that we were talking about, where every turn Sam has to present 2 important threats.
2 important threats. I think this is David's very much in control of this game now because, yeah, you have free removal for every permanent every turn. Well, not every permanent. 1 permanent a turn every turn.
And Sam's best creature in this spot is a land.
That's true. The best card in this spot is the land.
Which is extremely
Whoa,
bad.
never
And
mind.
Insult to injury.
Insult to
here.
injury.
Smashing that hammer and the boots. Saying, who needs meltdown? That would hit my stuff.
Yeah, who needs meltdown? I want to keep my food tokens. I want to keep my mocks. This is yeah, okay. The game is
Game
very
3.
very much over at that point because Asmo is a reasonable clock and Sam is just never going to have another creature in play ever, unfortunately.
And this is how these matchups sometimes go. The format is just so fast that if you get an edge, if you get like a card that matches up really well with what your opponent's doing, the pendulum swings so far that you just can't really get back. Pyroclasm there, doing a really good impression of what it does to goblins, just ending the game on the spot.
Oftentimes Merfolk are immune to Pyroclasm because we're not 2/2s. We're 3/3s, 4/4s, 5/5s even.
And
What?
Counterspells too,
Yeah, we have counterspell.
And you swim in the ocean.
And we swim in the ocean.
You're surrounded by water. The flames don't do nothing.
Exactly. It's a well-known fact. That's why Pyroclasm is not a good answer to Merfolk. Don't board in Pyroclasm against Merfolk. That's a pro tip. And not at all, controlled opposition. So
Of course.
So they'll shuffle up. It looks like we didn't see necessarily what Sam brought in, but David definitely brought in Shattering Spree, definitely brought in Pyroclasm as we thought. Sam.
This could also be a situation where Sam won game 1. He didn't feel like he needed to do much because of game 2 or into game 2. And maybe like the surges he has in the main, maybe the tech that he has in the main, he thinks is slightly better than trying to swap things out in the sideboard. He could bring an A Pithing Needle for like 1 other artifact, maybe shave a Stoneforge. But besides that, I think Sam's probably thinking that because he's on the play game 3, he's just going to race.
Just going to race. I also like the discussion here about the new format of Magic where flavor dictates rules. So Merfolk don't die to fire name spells. That doesn't mean they don't die to all burn spells. Like Lightning Bolt obviously affects Merfolk because they're in the water. So you got to be careful about Lightning Bolt in this flavor Magic format.
And that's the way that the goblins have always looked at the game. Is honestly, it's like the story, then the art, then the card text. Your flavor text dictates everything, and that's that's how I like to play Magic.
All right, so Pithing Needle from David here. We don't know what they named.
Oh, I'm guessing it's gonna be Asmo.
No. David's Pithing
David
Needle.
has a Pithing Needle.
I bet.
Oh, that one's gonna be on Asmo.
Okay, so we're gonna get some clarification on what these are on. My guess is that Sam's is on Asmo and David's on Igmoth Nexus.
Colossus Hammer and Cookbook.
Oh my God.
Colossus Hammer and
Yes.
Cookbook.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Cookbook is a reasonable name. Yeah, because you're
not gonna give him food.
yeah, because Asmo's not really gonna do anything if so here's a blank.
Really good read here.
Does turn the Mox Opal on, so that's not nothing. Here comes Inti. Inty's pretty good.
Inti is amazing in this spot because it gives it trample and it allows David to filter for sideboard cards. If he's looking for a shatter style effect, he's just going to pitch every card that he needs to find it. Ooh, and Urza Saga coming down for Sam is so strong here.
Yep.
Saga threatens
So-
two huge bodies over 3 turns and can grab the Shadow Spear if it's still in the deck.
Yeah, because so Stoneforge Mystic is going to go find something probably not Hammer. Leyline Axe.
Oh. This-
Oh, so getting a Leyline Axe, trying to cheat it into play, says to me that Sam is setting up for the Assassin's Creed card again.
Yeah.
Its name is I've already forgotten it. Because we were Dom and I a couple weeks ago were talking about how like Assassin's Creed there was like no cards that were relevant in the format, and
Th-
then there
th-
was.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's the card. That's the
That's
card
the one.
from Assassin's Creed that makes it from
Oh wait, I said the wrong one. Well, hold on.
it's Battlefield
It's this one.
Battlefield
Battlefield
Improvisation. Yeah,
So good.
great card. Oh wow. Okay, so
So Inti attacks, discards a Daredevil, exile off the top another Daredevil, casts the Asmo, no way to make food, just as a 3/3 attacker.
just
here.
a 3/3 attacker blocker. Another.
Grabs an artifact and probably just plays it as an artifact or as a card. Oh, you can't even discard it.
No, you
That's
can't even discard it to the cookbook.
so
It's
painful.
it's a reasonable card to just play. I also think that Inti should have a 1/1 counter.
Well, that's a very good point.
Um,
Inti should have a counter, discarded a card.
yeah, because you discarded he discarded a card.
Yeah.
The
2/2.
oh, it's when Inti is going to.
And this time it has a counter.
What was the first? Where'd the first
we go.
discard come from?
I thought it was.
When because it's when you attack.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, whenever you attack, you may discard a card. So we did that. But I don't know. I
There's
got
2 cards exiled right now.
yeah. So I missed whatever the first discard was. I don't. But
I'm also trying to see it. I don't really see it.
whatever it was, because the Inti's impulse triggers whenever you discard a card
From any source.
from any source. So whatever the first discard was, is what triggered this chain of events. And now getting a Shattering Spree to free his cookbooks and use the Oval Chase Daredevils already in the graveyard to start powering out some foods.
And this is kind of crazy now because we're back to where Asmo can just shoot whatever Sam puts all the things on.
Though there's going to be a little bit of a back and forth there, because he's going to want to make sure that he shoots it before it is declared as an attacker, because as soon as it's declared as an attacker is when Battlefield Formation does its work, because it only picks up all the equipments for free after it's an attacker.
Very interesting. So you could just wait. You could sandbag it.
Yeah, you could sandbag it, but what again, this is assuming that Sam has exactly that card, but you would want to say, I want to blow up your Stoneforge Mystic before you go to attacks, because once he goes to attacks,
Then it is eligible.
then it's an eligible target, right?
Do you think Sam could also just play the late game here and hold up or Construct?
Yeah, I mean, I think holding up the constructs also makes sense. That's probably what's going to happen here, right? So he is Pure Steel, another Stoneforge Mystic, Esper Sentinel, so he could play an Esper Sentinel and make a construct. Because really, if you're he does have the formation. Because with the formation, what you really want to do with the formation is ensure that you have as many potential attackers as possible. So if you're attacking like with Stoneforge and the construct and the Esper Sentinel, you can just blow up. You can target the whatever one is not blown up by Asmo. That's it. There's a little bit of tension though, because if you cast it, then it gets blown up. So there's like, it's kind of a staring contest.
It's a fine line.
It's a fine line.
And if Sam has the cards to win this game, it's whether or not he can get through this Asmo.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's also going to go. This is kind of a pivotal turn because when David untaps, he'll have 4 foods, which is going to be problematic. I don't think there's a way. He's trying to think about if I activate Oh no, so he can't cheat. He can't cheat the Leyline Axe into play and attack with Stoneforge this turn. So I think he's maybe thinking about booting up the Inkmoth Nexus and then attacking with both and seeing what happens.
Yeah, you see it on Sam's face here. He's really going through the lines, and he's seeing that there's not really a better window for him to do this.
Oh. No, we're going to go second Stoneforge Mystic. Interesting.
This puts another body on the field, and
Does get another body.
if David goes to kill one, he can kill one, and then on his end step, maybe he can try to do it, and then force him to use the other one. Then on his turn,
Oh.
he can untap with the Ink Moth, activate it, and then maybe get in. Just maybe he's trying to play through his food.
Yeah. Lava Spur Boots is a good pickup here because he is basically foregoing the activation of the saga, but he's setting up so that he can give his saga token next turn haste if he needs it. Because presumably, nope, he's just going to play it. He's going to try to put it onto that one. Yep.
So he forces his hand here, and then he gives him the option to either let him untap with it, and he can present 2 creatures that he has to kill. Goes to put on the Stoneforge, activates the Ink Moth. If he has another land, he can cast the instant, put the Colossal Hammer on the Ink Moth, and then swing in for the air. But that's assuming that David is preemptive in his use.
There's a lot
of
of
food.
interesting things here. Oh, David, that's the Fortnite mountain to go along with the the SpongeBob mountains. Loves those Universes Beyond mountains.
I have heard some people say that they go for the tilting lands so they can get some free points off their opponent.
I've definitely heard that too. Like all your lands are mismatched or something because your opponent's like, oh, it's so aggravating that all your lands are mismatched.
Yeah, sometimes you take the points where you can get them. It's to each their own, right?
Yeah, don't play the game, play the player.
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
So Inti's going in.
Maybe
Asmo is going in.
Asmo's going to be taking the beats because it doesn't matter if it's tapped or untapped. You can still use the activated ability. And then you still get the attack trigger from the Inti.
Yep, still get the attack trigger from the Inti and still can put the counter on whatever you feel like.
And if forced to block, the Asmo isn't the one that's going to die. It's going to be the Inti, which is less of a priority to keep around for David.
Right, because you don't want to get rid of your removal.
Worst case scenario, Inti can just jump in front of something bigger.
Right. So now we're deciding what is going to happen here. Are we making another construct or are we floating a mana? It's kind of, I mean, David has one card unknown. So is Sam thinking about what if that other card is a removal spell? Probably.
Oh, the worst one has to be Shattering Spree, right?
Well, that's a sorcery, so he probably would have cast it already. So, but he could be worrying about Lightning Bolt still.
That's a good
I think that's the other removal spell that David has. The instant speed one anyway. Because right now it's like David has face up, kill one of your guys. So Sam is lining up. How do I get 2 guys that are attacking that are lethal? Ooh, a preemptive Surge of Salvation. Very interesting.
A really good way to start the turn here.
So creatures you control gain hexproof.
From red and black until end of turn, and you gain hexproof.
It was Lightning Bolt.
Oh, good read.
Incredible.
Good read.
Wow.
Forces it now. Then it resolves. Then the Saga trigger resolves.
Yep, so we floated a mana with Saga. Got a Mox Opal.
This will give the extra mana.
Power this up.
Attack in. Have 2 mana. Put the hammer on it, and Sam steals the game, playing through a million removal spells, trying to find the line, and in the end, gets the match. Well played by both players here. Million lines, bunch of decision trees. Well played.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's a very, very well executed. That's a really, really cool use of Surge of Salvation. Wow.
very well played. by
That
both-
was so cool.
both players.
That was so cool.
That was a great game.
Did the backup match already finish? Oh, they just
Oh.
finished. Okay. Let's look at
Okay, yeah.
Tepper's Step. I bet it's sweet. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's why I picked this one. The Is It Phoenix Demi Lich deck. Look at this
Do you know?
work of art.
Do you know what I like to point out about Demi Lich? Is it reminds me a lot of Hollow One. You cast 4 instant or sorceries, and you just get a free 4/3. That's basically a Dreadhorde Arcanist.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
What? Why didn't people not play that before? What has happened? What has happened to Modern? A free 4/3.
A
out of
free
your
4/3?
graveyard?
Many of them. There's a pile of free guys out of your graveyard in this
Come
one.
on.
We're also got the full 4 Faithless Salvaging, which is super cool. I hope we get to see this deck again.
This looks amazing, and I would love to see this next round.
Great. Well, I know who can make that happen.
Oh,
Anyway, let's do the ad read. So you can buy or sell your cards at nerdragegaming.com, singles and more, which means supplies and sealed product and board games and, well, there's a couple board games anyway. Playmats, the really cool Mana Moon deck boxes, those are sweet. And then you can turn the cards that you no longer want into the cards that you do want, and that's super cool.
Go to break now, though.
We can go to break. Oh, we're not doing the series ad read. Let's do the series ad read. This is great. We got to practice. We got to show Dom that we can be trusted on our own. So there's 2 more opportunities to qualify for the NRG Championship. This is going to be May 10th and 11th in Chicagoland for the season. Yeah, for the season. See, this is good. There's a 10K Modern Showdown. That's the one where if you win, you're going to get queued into champs, and you're going to get a token in your likeness, which is always very, very lovely. And, of course, there's also a 5K standard trial. And then in Indianapolis, later in June, the 28th and 29th, there's a double showdown weekend. So you're going to qualify in standard, and then 2 of your best friends are going to qualify alongside you in the team sealed showdown, or your worst enemies, depending on how you build your team compositions. I don't know. I think those are switched, right? So the showdown is on Saturday and the standard is on Sunday, because
Final Fantasy.
it's Final Fantasy sealed, which is going to be super sweet. Final Fantasy is going to be an awesome set. Very, very much looking forward to that. So I think that is it for this. We'll be back in round 2 with more Modern, and we'll see you there. Wow, we're back. Can you
Oh.
believe it? Oh, it's already time for round 2. So we are going to watch a matchup. It is going to be Sam and George. Sam
Sam-
is back once again. George, as requested by chat, he said he has spice this time. He's got new cards in his deck, at least 2 of them. We want to guess what they are. They're from Tarkir Dragonstorm.
Oh, they're from Tarkir?
They're lands.
Ooh, oh, they're probably lands. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes
they're
sense.
lands.
That makes sense. I was gonna guess like the Teamer Wrath that landfall makes a 4/4.
That would be really sweet, but that would require him to put Forest in his deck, which I just frankly
Oh.
don't think he's going to do. But he does have the new Cavern of Souls for spells.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So Sam is going to go for some sort of consign, maybe, and it's just not going to work out for him.
That's gonna be interesting to see. Sam here just going really fast, going turn 1 Urza Saga, Mox Opal, Mem Knight, and plays the boots. Puts the boots on the thing with the mana from the Mox
That's the
Opal.
one, Misread Village.
That card's very good. I will say I pulled 3 of those over the. I played 3 pre-releases. One of my pre-releases I got 2. One of them I got 1. So
2
I'm set on those. Yeah, separate packs. Separate packs.
separate packs.
But like I was just like, oh well, I'm drafting. I don't want this. Like counter spells are bad in draft. What am I supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do with those? Put them in your trade binder. Actually, you know what you do with them? You sell them to Energy.
Oh,
That's what you do. Yeah. See, that's an ad read. Anyway,
beautiful transition here.
Yeah.
As we pass it back, it looks like there
thank
was
you.
just a surveil land. There's just a surveil land here. George taking that free value. Bins a Day's Undoing. What do you think this tells about his hand?
Well, he probably either has a Days Undoing or he feels like Days Undoing is not impactful enough against his hammer opponent. He just is trying to survive the early game. What's he do? There's a lot of
Both
they're
these
having a
players,
great time
both-
while
both-
George is thinking about tapping this one land.
both these players looking at each other because they both know each other's decks. They both are savants at what they do, and they're both trying to figure out, how do I not just punt this game?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Wow. George also did mention that he upgraded his lands. So I bet that little back and forth was a guessing game would be my guess. Like, Sam, I upgraded my basic. Would you like to guess what they are? And then, of course, the big reveal that they are the secret layer. Oh, this is why he was asking about phrenology. Because it was like making jokes about the study of heads because he's got the head.
Oh. I have such an interesting question here.
Yeah.
So does Orm's chant say target? Does it say target player can't cast spells or attack this turn? Because Sam has 4 surges in his deck.
I think it does say target.
Target player.
Yeah,
so
target player.
we could see something happen here where George leaves up mana to shut off Sam's turn, and Sam's just like one of these turns when he has the cards and the mana to. Oh, he has the
And
surge.
he's got the surge in his hand. Yeah.
He can just be like, actually, son.
So he's gonna
say no attacks and no spells.
Yeah.
Sam's probably gonna be fine with this for this turn.
he probably just does. He is probably fine with it this turn.
And the next turn,
He
he
can
just
make a-
slams it because he'll create a false sense of security in George. And he'll be like, "You can't have anything here." Sam even here is reading it from afar. He's like, "Does it say target?" He might be thinking. He's like, "Is it worth it? Is it worth just saving it?"
He's probably just gonna spend his mana and make a construct, right?
That's what I would do definitely.
Nope, never mind.
Oh,
So Sam thinks that he has the win here. So does he have the? Oh, George is at 10.
George is
Oh, then George is dead.
George is at 10 and he's laughing. He might have a solitude.
Oh, he could have well, no.
His creatures have protection or hexproof from black and red.
But and permanents have hexproof.
Oh,
So, but the other thing is the paladin has ward 1 from
Oh,
the
that's
like,
what it
from the
was.
boots.
okay.
So he's actually just dead.
Unstoppable paladin there, taking down game 1 for Sam.
Yep. So that was pretty, again, Sam just really doing the business here. So here's what an Azorius control deck could look like. I don't think that George is on the Kahira plan tonight, but probably has all these other cards. He definitely has Narset and Days Undoing. He's definitely got 3 free. Last time we saw George, he did have 5 free also. We know he's got the Scepter Chant, dance going on, and then what else? He's got counter spells and spell snares and supreme verdicts. It's control. It's control.
I think against Sam, you probably take out some copies of the. Would you cut Verdict against Hammer Time? I would shave it. It's 4 mana. It's too expensive. It's a little bit too slow. You might be interacting until 4 and use it to Wrath. But I feel like as a top deck, if you're stuck on 3 or if it's just like turn 2 and you need to kill something, that's not what you want.
I do think temporary lockdown is going to be more important here than supreme verdict. Maybe you keep in 1. Maybe you keep in 2. Days Undoing probably also unfortunately getting cut here.
Another card that I think is definitely coming out is the 5-mana Teferi. As much as I love it,
Yeah.
I think you might have to cut that in this matchup.
Unfortunately, so if let's see, you're bringing in 2 temporary lockdowns and a Stony Silence, so at least maybe you're bringing in some number of consigns, because consign is going to counter the equipments when they're being played fairly. It's also going to counter the trigger from the enchantment that I should know the name of, but don't.
Oh, what is it called?
I know, right? As soon as you think about it every week, and as soon as you try to
no.
remember the name of
Is
it,
it Sigarda's Aid?
Sigarda's Aid, that's the
Oh.
one.
Thank God.
I was like, it's got Captain America on it.
They played it in standard. I remember them playing it in standard, and it was bad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think George is just going to try to lower his interaction curve and get not dead.
And
Oh, this is a great list. Affinity. So here's I think what people were hoping would happen when Breach got banned, right? So we were hoping we didn't want to ban Mox Opal because we want to make sure that fair decks like Affinity can still exist. I hope that there's a future for Affinity in Modern, because Affinity is like a classic boomer archetype that is now filled with Zoomer cards. It's the best of both worlds. It's the meeting of the minds. So I think that if Mox Opal is to survive in Modern, it has to be played in more fair decks like this, and not immediately turned into another unfair combo deck like with Jeskai Ascendancy.
I'm in the same boat. I remember losing to Affinity back when I first started playing Modern against Lingering Souls tokens and Young Pyromancer. Those are the cards that I lost to all the time. And there was this one guy who would play Affinity every week. He would go 4-0 every week, and I was always completely amazed by it. And then they banned Mox Opal, and that man stopped playing Magic.
Oh,
And and you know what? Now he's back, but he doesn't play Affinity anymore. He says the cards aren't good anymore.
what does he play?
He just plays just like he was playing Breach.
Bro, yeah, okay. Hey, I mean, nothing wrong with being a best deck gamer.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle the OG. But yeah.
All right. George is going to 6 here. Sam keeps his 7.
I think this is a matchup where George has to be aggressively mulliganing to hate cards. I think George's deck is kind of playing a prison
No,
role.
no.
Oh, not like
George,
this.
not like this.
Takes a deep breath, looks at the camera.
Hopefully the tale of coverage tonight isn't just Sam smushing people.
I think
Oh,
that
every game 1 ends on turn 3. Put him on coverage.
he's just holding the hammer above their head, saying,
Yeah, it's the hammer of Damocles.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you've heard of the ship of Theseus. Oh, actually, ship of Theseus, that would be a good example for the affinity list.
There
like,
we
is
go.
Is it still like an affinity deck if none of the cards have affinity in it anymore? Oh no, what's her name has the Merfolk. Emery has affinity still. Few.
Yeah.
But we're far removed from Mirror Enforcer and Frogmite and Arcbound Ravager.
Oh, Thought Monitor is so busted though.
Oh, okay. Thought Monitor also has
But I just
affinity.
look at that as that's Frogmite, just 2025, 2023 or 2024 Magic.
Yeah. Fire design.
Leading it off with a Surveil Land here.
Does the turtle? No, the turtle is improvise.
Yes, I've had a couple games where people have cast that as if it had affinity, and I have to be like, no, it says improvise, and they're like, what's improvise? And I'm like, you're playing affinity.
Okay, Sam once again deploying about 1 million permanents. No, it is ward.
Yeah.
It is, but it doesn't have affinity,
That's which is crazy because it looks like it has affinity.
right?
Like the card looks at like.
So here's what would be really interesting. If one of the handful of cards in George's hand is temporary lockdown, things are going to get pretty exciting.
And I think that's definitely the card
Come on,
that George.
slam it. No, we're going to put a
Ooh.
land into play tapped.
Not willing to take any extra damage here, not willing to shock, right? Like maybe there's a world where he has it and he just feels like, he can hold up counterspell for this turn. He can maybe bait Sam into going for it this turn because his Saga's going to go off. And then once he manages to get through this turn, he could also just cast an Orm's Chant, I believe. He could cast Orm's Chant, hold up Consign or something.
That's true. So Orm's Chant can just, you don't have to kick it, you can just play it. It's a totally fair card to just play. Sam does have the signature Assassin's Creed card in his hand. Always going to recall it the Assassin's Creed card.
Battlefield Forgottenness.
Yeah, Battlefield Forgottenness, exactly. Sam representing Metallic Rebuke. Who knows if he has it or not, though.
Good read. Good.
I
read.
would love to see a hammer deck that plays Metallic Rebuke. Honestly, Metallic Rebuke is such a cool card. A counterspell with Improvise, Mana Leak.
Yeah, we're talking about Improvise. That's
Yeah.
a 1 mana Mana Leak in certain decks. And if you use a Springleaf Drum,
It's free. It's literally free real estate. Looks like George also probably going to survive until 4 mana here. I mean, assuming that. Nope, I dropped my fidget cards. Really important the chat knows that.
Sometimes in the booth, we like
Sometimes
to
in the
fidget because we just stare at the screen and it's hard.
Yeah. All right, so got a Colossus Hammer, played a Inkmoth Nexus for turn, rumbling in. This would be a really great place for. Oh, we're gonna Battlefield Improvisation. It's not lethal, but
George-
it's a lot.
George asking, "Do I die?" He's like, I can't. Not
Yep.
not that one. So he was leaving up the counterspell.
Yep, that's a beautiful counterspell. Energy series, flicking cards. It's a sickness. It is a sickness.
Hmm?
There's nothing that could be done about it. It's like biting your nails. It's just one of those habits.
It just happens.
It just
and
happens.
It's cardboard crack, okay?
Right, exactly.
Both players here, I think, feeling like the game is either coming to an end or George going to round the corner, and it's all going to come down to this turn.
It is. And Sam down to 1 card in hand, which I don't think we got to look at.
I don't think so. It might be the Surge. Or that was
I don't think
last game.
the Surge was last game, yeah.
Again, having a great time. If you want to have a great time too and play some amazing magical cards, come out to the NRG store and hang out with us. It's always a great time, and we'd love to play Magic with you too.
Here comes Teferi. It was a Surge.
Oh, baby. That's
Okay.
painful.
So tick up for no value. Don't even get to draw a card. Oh no, you can. Oh, you can still tick it up. You just choose nothing.
And George is counting here. Doesn't have a way to put the ink moth on, or doesn't have a way to put the hammer on the ink moth.
He doesn't currently have a way to put the hammer on the ink moth. So, probably just trying to protect his. Oh, just ticked it up. Yeah. So he was trying to protect his hammer from getting picked up before the Teferi resolved, because as soon as Teferi resolves, then you can't cast Surge in response.
That makes sense.
So pretty heads up there. Here comes. Yeah, boot up the Inkmoth Nexus.
Probably trying to
1
figure out.
mana. What's the 1 mana gonna go on? Move the boots to the Inkmoth Nexus? No, just attack.
Because he loses it being equipped at the end of the turn anyways, so
Right.
that's close.
So 4 damage at Teferi. Teferi goes to 1. Teferi's at 1. Play to land.
I kind of like going 3 at the Teferi, put the Teferi to 2, and then 1 upstairs for Inkmoth, because then you have 1 infect on them, and then Teferi still can't uptick. And then if George doesn't have anything, the bounce doesn't happen until the following turn, at which point you just ping it again.
Right.
But it's very small decision points. Sam very ahead here.
I guess it plays around Solitude,
It's a good point.
sort of. George offering his surveil land to his opponent, maybe? Like, oh, you want to find one of these?
Felt like almost like a field of ruin or like a demolition field there. Like, oh, you want to hit this one? All right. Untap, upkeep, draw. Land goes back to being a land. looking back and trying to figure out.
Yep, booted up the thing. This is probably both Memnites at Teferi, this guy upstairs. Yep, so 2 of those guys at Teferi, Inkmoth upstairs.
From the way he drew and passed, I think this is a surge.
Well, it doesn't matter if it's a search because Teferi's in play.
Oh, that's a great point.
I mean, I guess it matters for future turns, but George deciding if he wants to deal with one of these Memnites or if he's willing to let Teferi be sacrificed. How badly do you want to fight over this Teferi?
I mean, it gained you a bunch of life, and it hasn't been able to draw you a card yet. So you're fighting towards that. But if you go down a card to protect it, it's very interesting.
So prismatic ending, pay the ward. So Teferi takes 1, and George takes 1 poison.
Very slow, very deliberate, making sure that he doesn't.
Ooh, look at that!
Is that a Haruya token? What is that? What is that token?
I know. I think that's from the noodle box.
Oh, that's really cool.
George snickering, didn't get another land, but here comes temporary lockdown. Nope.
Oh,
Narset.
there's only one person who can play Narset as well as George Jabor, and that's George Jabor.
Yeah. Seasoned Narset caster. Can't see what else is in the hand. Stern Scolding looks like maybe is one of the cards. Gonna pick up Counterspell. Tick up Teferi. Sam's gonna do this.
Commence the slow grind.
Commence the slow grind. Yeah, get all your dual lands. No reason not to. Gone for... Oh, yeah, so if you move the boots to the Thopter, then you have 3 attackers at Teferi, and you clear it no matter what.
It's a good line.
That's a good line. Or and that still also gets you your 1 point of infect upstairs.
Which could matter. That is the kind of game this is. It's a slow, deliberate slog.
Here comes Stoneforge Mystic. Pure Steel Paladin. Oh, that's bad. So put this on whatever you feel like. Put the Lava Spur boots on it. Yep. Bonk for 13.
Oh, he's confused. He's like, no way. No way this isn't. Oh, I guess he has other attackers too. I'm like, there's no way he isn't dead, but he is.
I don't. Without a removal spell, he is dead. Yeah, because we have from the Paladin, we have 13 plus 1. Solitude, the Paladin, in response to equipping the boots. That's got to be what's happening. Yeah, judge hand.
The all-powerful hand of God reaching down.
Yep.
Steady your aim, players.
So now we're going to boot up Inkmoth Nexus. Yep. 2 at Teferi, 1 upstairs. Teferi down. Here comes 4th land for George. Nope.
That's so painful. And this might be like worth talking about as an aggro player. Why do you take the turns off hitting the planeswalkers? Why not just let them keep their planeswalkers? From a gameplay perspective, I think it's important to talk about the fact that your opponent's playing control, so they're going to be trying to generate value over the game. They're going to be interacting with your stuff, and if you just try to kill them, there might be a point where they're at 1 or 2 life, and you just can't close the game because they've generated value off their planeswalkers the whole game.
Yeah, I mean, though that Teferi saved what, 6 or 7 life? That's pretty good.
Yeah, and you never know, like again, he has Surge. If George wanted to make sure that he could sequence something, Teferi is the card to make sure that his opponent can't play through or around anything.
Right.
Tanking here, looking at his cards. This Narset probably is really good. The only time that I've ever seen somebody really tank on a Narset is when it's really good.
Yeah, there's got to be more than one card here to get. Or he's just looking at 4 lands and can't believe it.
Oh.
Take an Orbs Chant.
Grabs the Orms, which is pretty good in this situation. You don't have the Teferi anymore. But
You don't have the Teferi, but you can also...
Before he draws.
Or you can let him draw. Because we also know he has Counterspell.
Oh, that's a great point. I was thinking about Spell Pierce.
Saga.
Saga's amazing here.
Yeah, boot this up. Swing in. Kill your Narset. Yeah, he doesn't care about Narset.
Yeah, even though the Ink Moth was on top of the hammer was not equipped because the Paladin's not there anymore. It's just an attack for 1. George is doing a great job here of, not caving. He probably has lots of good cards in his hand, just not enough the mana to use them.
Yeah, so we know he has Counterspell. Here comes Scepter.
Oh.
Put a chant on it.
Oh.
So George just has to survive this turn. Is George dead? Yes or no?
This time on NRG.
Yeah, this time NRG. Is George dead? Doesn't look like it.
Sam too busy dying.
Sam thinks it's pretty funny whatever's about to happen. 3 mana. Here comes what even? Oh, just make a guy.
Here comes the boy. Do 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 do.
Oh, make a guy. Give him haste. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Stoneforge looking at that
Stoneforge
grab.
Mystic. Go get another 1-drop. Doesn't really matter what it is. So now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nettle Cyst.
No.
Nettle Cyst is going to be a big boy.
That's pretty good. This also plays around temporary lockdown.
It does. I mean,
It's in his hand, but like it's just another thing that can stick through that. The germ will go away. But hasty creature attacking in.
down to 6.
And this is kind of what we were talking about, is it's a fine dance, right? Like that 6 damage going towards the Teferi could have gone at George's face,
And George could be dead.
and George could be dead.
And George could be dead.
But that's the issue playing aggro, is you don't know whether or not killing your opponent's planeswalkers and the value they provide is worth the tempo that you lose.
Right. Because if you're in a situation where George has an active Isochron Scepter and a Teferi, that's it. You can keep playing, but there's no escape.
Yeah, the only out here is if the Saga grabs a Pithing Needle and names Orm's Chant.
Yep. So that's probably what's going to happen. So Scepter Chant during Sam's upkeep or draw step or whatever. So we have make this, go find something. Does Sam have Pithing Needle in his deck?
We know that that wasn't his list. We saw that list that had 2
We
on the
did-
side.
yeah.
So
Oh, okay. He does have the Pithing Needle.
oh, George is like, that's fine. But that's really not fine.
It's not fine at all because it
He's like, he has a Wrath of the Skies, but no second white.
oh no, he has no second white source.
So we as the commentator see he has a Wrath.
I think he flashed it to his opponent too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So Sam aware just how bad the spot is.
So
For
George
George.
really needs to draw untapped white source exactly now. Here we go. Untapped white source.
And it's still not a land.
Doesn't look like it. Now, drawing Meticulous Archive would have been
The
a
most.
second. Oh no, George. No.
Oh, the
Not
pain.
like this. Yep. Nothing. Just didn't draw the other land, unfortunately.
GG's. Both players played really well. Oh, the Mystic Gate was on top.
Oh, the Mystic Gate was the
Zero's
next
on
card.
top.
Oh, jeez.
He was like, okay, thank you, Magic Gods.
I think it would have been the insult to injury move would have been drawing the card and finding it was Meticulous Archive. That would have been the worst.
That would have been
Be like, oh, the second white source, but at what cost?
oh, greatness at any cost. And we swapped over to Tron versus Mono Black.
Ooh, a Tron.
Are you a Tron lover or a Tron hater? I feel like it's very polarized.
I don't feel strongly about Tron. I really don't.
Neither do I. I feel like it might be a kindred thing where
Yeah.
you're just like, I'll kill you by turn 4.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about Tron, especially as a Merfolk player, because we had pretty good land disruption before they printed Blood
Spreading,
Moon.
spreading seas.
Yeah, we had Spreading Seas and we had the thing. So I was like, yeah, Tron's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see if Brendan got a hold of Ugins yet.
Ooh.
New Ugin, going to be pretty good for Tron. Also excited to see if this is the Eldrazi Tron or the other Tron. So Unbreakable Wit asks, "Did I miss Mr. George play?" Well, you certainly missed Mr. George on camera. Um, Mr. George got he had not the best run of luck. Didn't get a lot of lands in game 2, and game 1 just got completely smushed by a hammer.
The
A Surge of Salvation really interrupted his Scepter Chant play, and it was no good.
we'll say Surge of Salvation overperformed both the matches we've watched so far.
I would definitely say that Surge of Salvation has certainly been the card of the night thus far. So we'll see if we can continue to find Sam more opponents for him to flatten.
one day I'll play Mardu Goblins, and we'll put Surge so they can't kill my Snoop. One day.
I would love to see Mardu Goblins. You could even play Ponyback Brigade.
Do you want?
It's bad. Don't put that in your
No.
deck.
Do you want to hear a list that I actually had for a while? It was it was Goblin Cats. You played Aether Vial, and then you played out of the Energy Shell. You played Ocelot Pride, Ajani, and Flage.
Oh, I think I played against you in this deck, and you played an Ajani, and I was like, what is going on over here? This is not. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, when you it's quite a feeling when you attack with your Ocelot Pride. They block, and then you vial in your Ajani, and then the Ocelot Pride dies, and then you flip your Ajani immediately.
It's
Quite a good feeling.
that sounds like a great feeling.
Also, when you have an arena, you vial in your Flage with 3, then you immediately escape it because you also have mana.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
With haste, you're just like, okay, I hit you, and then I hit you, and then I hit you.
Aether Vial's such a cool card.
Play Aether Vial, Boros Energy players. Play Aether Vial. You won't lose to Demir.
You definitely won't lose to Demir. Okay, so we have Tron going down to 6, Monobrack Necro, Shieldred, some basics. We're going down to 6 too.
Not quite good enough. Very
Not-
close.
Not feeling it. Not feeling. I guess like against a Tron player when your hand is like a couple of 4-drops. If your hand is essentially 5 lands and 2 4-drops, not gonna be that good. I guess Fel the Profane is a spell sort of, but
Would you look at the mono black Necro deck as like a Jund style deck, or would you look at it as like a combo style deck?
I think it's a control deck.
So
Right.
like more tilted towards the late game, so it's gonna have the same issue that Jund did against Tron.
I feel like you have a better play against Tron than like a Chun deck because you can still like high roll your soul spikes and whatnot. Also, your top end is like better. Like Shieldred is better than almost any
Bloodbraid
card
Elf.
at Chun. Yeah, certainly better than Bloodbraid Elf.
Much
Yeah,
better.
as far as 4-drops go.
Shout out to
So-
the banned card that got unbanned, and was Bloodbraid Elf ever banned?
No,
No.
what?
I thought Bloodbraid Elf was banned.
Bloodbraid Elf was banned.
Yeah,
in
see,
modern. Yeah, yeah,
Shout out to the card that got unbanned and then died.
and then died. Yeah, unfortunately, there was a brief time where Bloodbraid Elf came back because it was putting beans into play, which is
Oh!
hilarious.
That's so good. That's so
Uh,
good.
yeah, there was just this weird beans deck when you're like, yeah, I'm playing
Yeah. Shout out to Bloodbraid Elf.
Bloodbraid Elf.
I will say that is a testament to how good Beans is, that it made Bloodbraid Elf good again.
Yeah,
Like for that tiny bit of time.
just for a minute.
It's like, so hopefully we got some better 6s here.
I think this is 5 for both players actually.
Oh no.
Yeah,
And
I
now
mean both these decks mulligan pretty well. Like,
this
so we could-
definitely favors the Tron player then.
oh, definitely because John's card quality is higher just on average. I don't think March of Sorrow was going to do a lot against Tron.
No. Maybe
Nope.
he's thinking about gaining life, but you're right. There's not going to be a lot of targets early, and then when there is a target, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you're not going to be pitching a lot of cards to March of Wretched Sorrow if you're mulliganing to 5. Yeah, that's the correct. Put that on the bottom.
Yeah, if you were playing against a Goblins player, you would love that card.
No,
but-
if you were playing against goblins or merfolk,
or Merfolk. We
And-
can
Yeah.
confirm.
and in the flavor game, I think March of Wretched Sorrow still destroys all the creatures.
Yeah, because the
Goblins still get sad. Merfolk gets sad.
We get so sad.
Yeah,
man.
it's very sad,
It's like these elves just keep being mean to us. We don't understand why.
right?
Turn 1 mine into a map here, and then it looks like the first land is just going to be a flipped Boggart Trawler. Is that
Oh, look at that!
is that a is that-
Never punished as the Tron player.
oh, draws the thing.
Mine into power plant with the map. Yeah,
And,
don't spend your mana. You wanna crack your map at the end of turn.
Quite strong, quite strong.
Break the ice.
Oh no.
That's pretty sick.
I will say, I remember when this card was supposed to be like huge, and then people stopped playing it. And this is a card I think is undervalued.
I think it's very undervalued.
2 mana sorcery, destroy a land that is snow or could produce a colorless. So back when Astrolabe was a thing, yay! But now with Tron and Eldrazi being a thing, anything that has a colorless thing on it, it hits Nykthos. It hits. I'm running out of ideas.
Cavern of Souls.
Cavern of
Disrupts
Souls,
Cavern. It also kills
the Eldrazi Temple,
the Eldrazi Temple.
Ugin's Labyrinth. Oh, and they interesting.
No, you can't. You can't flash in the Sentinel Flute because Break the Ice is already on the stack. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So you could name something else.
You could name something else, but you probably just want to break your map at this point.
Yeah. Good use for your mana.
The other thing that's cool about Break the Ice is it does basically win you the game for 6 mana. Armageddoning just your opponent is very, very good, very, very powerful, one would say. So,
Actually, just watched a video recently on how I think it was Wildfire.
Wildfire, yeah.
Was used with Grim Monolith and Voltaic Key, and they were just like one-sided board wipe, but I have Artifact Ramp.
Yep.
It's just like, whoops.
So Brandon actually got a power plant there, which means he
Mm.
probably already had the tower in his hand.
Yeah, shout out to Wildfire. Can you imagine playing old school Magic? You have a board, they kill your creatures, they kill your lands, but then they have Artifact Ramp, and they're just like, actually, Masticore, take this.
Yeah. The Zoomer brain could never.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
Okay, Sentinel Flute now is getting named, probably naming Break the Ice.
I can imagine. This way, they don't just lose to the 6 mana version, it'll be 9 mana, which is
Yeah.
pretty much uncastable.
Necro Dominance. Okay.
And this is to keep it from being cast as early as possible, because once that card comes down, Derek has access to so many cards.
Yeah, draw as many cards as you have life. Probably not quite that many, but you probably draw like 10 or something.
And if you have a Shieldred, you just go to 1 and you hope they don't have a ping.
Yeah, which Tron probably doesn't.
Yeah.
So here comes Sorin.
Oh, Sorin's a really cool card in this deck because with Soul Spike, you're just able to flip the Sorin right away, and then you get to deal damage to any target equal to the amount of life that you've gained.
Which is a lot.
Which is sometimes a lot, sometimes not.
Sometimes a lot.
In that sequence with Shieldred, you could just one-shot somebody.
You could just one-shot somebody, exactly.
So we'll see. Also, shout out to all the Tron players out there. I'm going to give you a little hack. If you're playing against Necro, play Gut Shot. If you play a Gut Shot, you can just hit your opponent before the trigger resolves.
Oh, here comes Ugin.
I think they'd rather play Ugin, though.
Yep, so 7 mana Ugin. Ugin is going to exile a permanent with at least 1 color when he comes into play, and then he's just going to keep doing that every time a color of spells happens. And then also,
Uptick to gain 3 life and draw a card?
yep, and you're also just going to win the game on his ultimate. Search the library for any number of colorless non-creature cards, exile them. Until they're turned, you may cast them without paying their mana cost. So just get a whole bunch of Eldrazi's, as many as you feel like.
You know what? You know what would have been really good against this Ugin? A March where you could pitch your whole hand.
Does March hit Planeswalkers?
It
Well,
does.
okay.
But that is not what we're playing towards, because if you pitch your whole hand, the Tron player has 3 more cards.
Yeah, what's the starting loyalty? 7 or is it 5?
I think it's 7. It goes
7. Yeah.
up to
So
9.
it goes up to 9 immediately. This is disgusting.
Yeah.
I do like that art.
That's the back is
Alright.
a baby.
So
That's
here comes a Shieldred, which is probably gonna.
I will say that Ugin should be at 9, not 10.
Oh, you should be at 9. I wonder. Yeah, you should be at
Probably just a dice.
Probably just a die
small,
with-
small issue.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Thank you. Just like it's like a turn of the dice. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing big. Thank you.
Yep.
Legend. Making sure that
Nope,
we got
that's 8. Nope, that's still not right. That's
Nope.
8.
They're looking at the life total. Wait, they might catch it.
Nope.
We might wait. No, we
Okay.
Let's say it before they activate it.
Nope, it should be at no. They missed it.
So it should be at 11 now?
It should be at 11.
Yeah.
Did the math. It should be at 11.
7 plus 4 is 11.
Math is hard. Math is hard. I agree. And it's just so much loyalty, you know.
Yeah, it's
usually it's only 1 dice you have to worry about.
And this card is brand new too. So here comes 7 more mana for Devourer of Destiny. So exile that. double like exile it a bunch because the ETB also exiles with Devourer of Destiny. So Derek won game 1, but we're going to game 3 here.
Yeah, as soon as Ugin gets to ult, Brandon's basically just gonna pick up his deck and be like, okay, I'm gonna win.
Yep.
A-
So
and-
yeah, we there's the concession there. Nothing you can do against because you can't even play the Necro Dominance to try to dig for soul spikes. You're just dead.
Yeah, and that damnation felt so bad there, but I think you might have to
You
keep
might
some
have to
number of
keep it
them.
in because
There's creatures you
there's-
just can't deal with.
yeah, you have to kill Devourer of Destinies. You have to kill whatever. Oh no, you're not going to survive the
The world ender.
the world ender. Yeah,
world breaker.
you're going to get Ulamog. You're going to get Emrakul.
See, this is why I love dampening sphere. If I was Derek, I would just play 3 dampening sphere, bring them in. You're just like, okay,
Damping Fear is good.
here's my dampening sphere. You're gonna play on my level, and then you're gonna hope to combo kill him. And this is a really cool deck list. This is. Oh, I keep saying this is, but this is Necropotence and Eldrazi together.
Oh, this is cool. This one doesn't have Necro Dominance in it.
Sorry, I put
No, you're good. This is a
This
this is a very very
whatever
very
deck
spicy
this
list.
is
This is hot.
bomb. I would play this. This looks awesome.
I was staring at
got-
it like, what?
You've got a Reanimator package. You've got Thought Knot Seer. You've got Ifnir Deadland. This is a cool deck.
Kozilek's Command and Urza Saga. We're just having fun with this.
Yeah,
one.
I really hope somebody plays this deck. It's all good.
You're
It's all good.
You're all good. Now we're hoping to see keepable 7s here.
Yep.
And we're hoping to see some really splashy stuff, right? Brandon has the ability. I don't think he plays any colored sources at all. I think he's colorless. Eldrazi.
Yeah, I
Tron.
don't think there's any colored sources.
So we don't have to worry about Boseiju here. If Derek's able to get that Necro Dominance down, I don't think there's a good answer besides like Ugin itself.
Yeah, so you need the Ugin. Yeah, you need Ugin. Ugin is the answer. Or Devourer of
Devour.
Destiny is also the answer. But
That
as soon as you get one Necro activation, that's probably enough.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see, whether or not Derek's going to have another break the ice. He could be mulliganing to his sideboard cards here, which at least when I play against Tron, when I play against these established archetype staples like Tron in Modern, I feel like you need to have a lot of sideboard cards because the decks are so entrenched in what they do. They're so powerful and so efficient at getting their game plan executed. Sometimes you need to be a hate. Just play hate. If your deck isn't like a tier 1, tier 2, if you're playing goblins, you're playing humans, playing merfolk.
Are you saying that goblins and merfolk are not tier 1 decks?
No. I would say that goblins are not a tier 1 deck. Merfolk has Harbinger of the Seas, and that card destroys Eldrazi.
It does. I would say it's not a tier 1 deck. I love it though.
And we'll never stop loving it.
I never stop loving it. So Derek Mulligan to 6 does have Break the Ice. So going to be able to disrupt Brandon's early mana here. And then beyond that, I think just a bunch of lands. So there was 4 swamps and they put a Boggart Trawler to the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes the goblin's not what you want. And then,
And drew a land, but kill the tower.
I mean, this is
They go.
this is honestly, interesting. Maybe holding up a Bowmaster, perhaps?
I mean, representing Bowmaster, but we know that Derek has no spells in hand. So they have 3 swamps and a Break the Ice and a now you can cast a Thoughtseize. Yeah, so you're I think it's slightly mana inefficient. You to not spend your 2 mana on turn 2.
But there has to be a reasoning behind it. So maybe he's trying to draw his opponent out, using the map to grab a land and then taking out a different land to make sure that they don't get Tron. But this hand is just stacked.
There's a lot of threats in this hand. Because they also have the other soul land, so they have access to 4 mana next turn no matter what. Oh, maybe Derek is just is trying to line up a overloaded to be like, yeah, get a bunch of lands. I don't care. If you're not gonna literally kill me, then I don't care.
That's a very good point because Derek has no spells, so he has to have a plan here for this keep, and that sounds like a good plan to me.
I guess also sort of looking at the hand and seeing that there's not a planeswalker to worry about can just be like, okay, yeah, play your Devourer of Destiny, I'll damnation it, and then I can survive another turn or two, and and then I'm going to blow up all your lands.
And we do see a Soy Microspawn that just can't be cast.
Yeah, so we don't have the chromatic star or whatever to cast the Soy Microspawn.
And now he's in a tough spot though, because if this Devourer of Destiny just comes down as a beater and he goes to that plan, he'll die before he can do it.
He could die.
It'll be 6, 12.
No, he's got Damnation, so he would.
Oh, he has Damnation too.
So what is he naming
Oh.
with this flute? Probably Necrodominance again. It would be a crazy read if he says
Break the ice.
break the ice.
Yeah.
We're just going to cast it now for 1. Necrodominance again. Yep, that makes sense.
Yep.
So abandoning plan, overload the break the ice. Just break the Tron apart now.
Yeah, and sometimes it feels bad when your opponent stone rains you and puts you behind, but in a deck like Tron, right, like you recoup these losses so fast and your opponent could only have so much land destruction. Brandon's in a position now where he could get this Emrakul down in 2 turns.
Yeah, so he has Artifact.
Sorcery,
Artifact.
Kindred,
Oh yeah, Kindred.
and land.
5 mana. Yeah, you're getting ever closer to overload break the ice if you draw a second one.
Yeah. And then, yeah, Brandon
What-
will cast this Emrakul for 9 mana when he gets there.
Currently, and he has access to 8. So because if he uses the Ugin's Labyrinth with the Devourer underneath it, that's 8. So he's only 1 turn away.
Which Derek has
Which
to.
now he can cast it next turn if he wants.
Yeah, Derek has to be aware of this, and Derek has to be kind of a little bit apprehensive because
Wow, that's so many.
that's a lot.
He can actually play the Necrodominance at least. So cast Necrodominance.
Oh, he's gonna play another one. Is that why he tapped all his mana?
Well, no, because Sentinel Flute says you have to.
Oh, it's 3 more. You're
it,
right.
it costs 2 more.
You're so
But
right.
Sentinel Flute also turns off the activated ability, right?
And it's a triggered ability.
Oh, it's a triggered ability though. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
never mind.
It's crazy. I have Pithing Needled that before. You can Pithing Needle.
You can name Pithing. Yeah. Because you can consign the trigger. That's right.
We make mistakes, so you don't have to.
Right. Yeah. Don't make those mistakes.
A billion cards later,
So paid 8, drew 8, Swamp, Fatal Push, Swamp, Fell the Profane, March, Sorin. Oh, break the ice.
oh, there's no. Sadly, there is no target for this March. It has to hit a creature or a planeswalker, so he can't gain a bunch of life here by pitching something.
Yeah. I mean, you could. So you're going to be discarding down to 5. I would imagine that you're going to keep this break the ice.
Oh, definitely. I think that's like you could keep 4 lands in this break the ice.
Yep.
And you'd be like, oh, well, this is a game.
Fatal Push, you don't. I don't think that there. Well, okay. You can Fatal Push a Soy Microspawn.
It's a good point. And
Please keep the. Oh, you've selected 4 cards. None of them are break the ice.
oh no,
Please select the break the ice. It's gonna win you the game.
it's right there.
It's gonna win you the game if you can cast it. Okay.
Oh.
Phew.
Maybe that was for coverage.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't.
Just to keep us
I mean-
sweating.
I guess you know about the Emrakul, and so you're
Yeah.
worried like, oh, Brandon can take control of my turn and then just spend the break the ice on a land that doesn't matter. But we'll see what he goes. I think Brandon is sort of priced in to casting this Devourer of Destinies to get rid of the Necrodominance.
I would agree.
So we're gonna put the Emrakul underneath the Mugen's Lab. So 2, 4,
5,
6, 7. Devourer of Destinies. Boom. Get rid of Necrodominance. Brandon, I have bad news about your lands. They all produce colorless, and they're about to be broken.
Removed.
Yep.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough spot, but I think that you have a beater in. The sad thing is, Derek has a deck full of removal. Like,
Deck full of removal, and also can afford to take a hit from. Can afford to take at least 1 hit from this thing before marching it.
yeah, just having March here just in general is just amazing. Able to gain so much life, create a buffer, pitch the cards you don't want,
So we're gonna play Sorin.
We might see the line we were talking about before.
Oh, like gain a bunch of life with March, flip the Sorin.
Yeah, so you cast March for a bunch, you pitch cards to kill the Devourer, you flip the Sorin, you downtick -1 to deal. Oh, never mind.
Or just play Shieldred. Okay.
Interesting. Doesn't have a mana up to kill the Devourer. It doesn't kill the lands.
Yeah, maybe just wants to develop the board before he blows up the lands, which is pretty reasonable.
Respectable. It's tough though because if your opponent hits one more mana, they can't cast the Emrakul.
Because the Emrakul is currently underneath the Ugin slab, yeah.
That's probably why this play was made for sure. Derek saw the Emrakul is not gonna be able to come down the following turn, said I can present a board.
Yep.
Going down to 4 here.
Going down to 4, but you're not worried about Tron getting damage out of nowhere. Although, what would be punishing here? A Walking Ballista, Kozilek's Command. So Kozilek's Command for 2. Make 2 Scions.
Exile.
Make 2 Scions, exile Sorin.
And that's big respect to.
Oh, it's actually exile Sorin, and then it's scry 2, draw.
This is big respect to Sorin. Probably aware that if something goes wrong, that Shieldred with the flipped Sorin could just end the game on the spot.
Yeah, it would. So loses 2 life, plays Tron back online, but doesn't really have anything to do with Tron. We have two unknown cards in the hand besides the Sowing Micah Spawn hiding at the top of the land stack there. If he does something like flip an Ugin here, Derek will definitely regret not blowing up all the lands.
Yeah,
But now Derek 100% blows up the lands here, right?
Yeah, he has the Shieldred. The Shieldred can trade with the Devourer if he needs it to. If not, it just sits there and drains him slowly over time. And
I mean,
he has removal.
yeah, okay. So 4 mana, 5, 6 mana. All your lands, please. Boom. What?
There must be something we're not seeing.
There must be something we're not seeing because it seems like blowing up all your Tron players' lands is like the way to go. I mean, so this is you're gonna pay 5 life, and you're gonna gain
10.
You're gonna gain 10. So you're gonna go up to 11. You're gonna have a bunch of cards in your hand.
And he might be just pitching as much as he can to a March to kill this creature and saying, okay, well, next turn you can't kill me. But the issue is that Emrakul's going to come down.
Yeah.
Because he gets to untap. He gets
So-
to tap the Ugin's Labyrinth to put it in his hand and then immediately put it on the stack.
Yeah.
Because it's instant sorcery, land, kindred.
Kindred.
and
Artifact?
Don't,
Oh, maybe there's no artifact yet.
yeah, I don't remember.
Yep. So pick up, Emrakul.
But just with Tron, that's 10. That's 11.
Yeah,
mana.
11. Oh, there is artifact.
There's the
Map.
artifact.
Yeah.
It was hiding.
So, yeah, I think it was definitely a mistake
And if
to
we-
not overload the.
And if we look at this Emrakul, I believe this has protection from instants,
It does. It does have protection from instance.
which is huge. I know some of the Emrakuls have different like text boxes, but this one specifically.
Oh, Chad also points out that if you take control of your opponent's turn, you make them draw as many cards. You pay 11 life and die.
And that's
Yeah.
the way the news goes.
That's the way the news goes.
Different Emrakul. This one is the. No, you're good. Really close. That one's the Promised End. This one is the World Anew.
Yeah.
And
Emrakul, the Promised End.
this one's a little bit mad. And
yeah.
it does have flying, trample,
Protection from instance. Yeah. I mean, if Derek got the turn back, didn't opt to kill himself with Necro,
Yeah,
had the ability to damnation away the Emrakul, but
that's true.
that does it for round 2. However, we'll go to the booth. That's what I'm saying. I was saying that does it for round 2. We're coming to the booth. Here we are, right here at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store. So yeah, pretty good stuff. We'll be moving on to round 3 in a little bit here. Hopefully, seeing some more Tarkir Dragonstorm cards. It was cool to see. George theoretically had the spells can't be countered land. We didn't get to see it. Didn't get to see the upgraded lands. And then Ugin is just as good as people thought he was going to be. He's quite good. He's very, very good. Vindicate multiple things in the game is good. Win the game for a Planeswalker Ultimate is good. So who would have thought?
Emrakul does the thing.
Evercool does the thing, yeah. So with that being said, we will see you in a little bit. Don't go anywhere. we're back. We're back again. Yeah, they're going to start whenever. We are not going to feed another person to Sam on hammer.
Sam was
Though that was discussed.
Oh.
Sam just walked over and was like, "I'm gonna back up this time, right?" I was like, "Yeah, if you don't mind."
Sam was ready. Sam had his backpack. He was like, okay,
He was like, "I'm just gonna set up over here."
I'm prepared.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said. You know, sometimes you could just be like, we're doing like SEG is doing with the Reed Duke screen. We're just gonna follow one player through an NRG weekly. I think that actually could be super fun.
It's funny that you say that because I'm starting to do that for all of my paper gameplay. Just like bring a camera around. For pre-release, I recorded them all with a chest cam.
Oh,
And I
that's
just
fun.
opened my pre-release pack with a chest cam.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So I think that like more people need to like do that because people want to see what does a player like Reduke do like every single round, and I think that that's like really cool. Anybody can put a camera on themselves and see.
Anybody could put a camera on themselves. So anyway, Rich here is going to be on Hollow One. Derek is back on Mono Black, back in black. Probably going to lead on Thoughtseize here. Though interestingly enough, does buff the Shark.
How do you feel about this matchup?
I don't know enough about either of these decks to properly appraise it. My guess is that the deck that is full of spot removal is going to be good against Hollow One.
I have a crazy take. The graveyard deck is going to be good against the discard deck. I don't know if that's a lot of what Derek's doing, but I feel like Rich is going to have a lot of stuff that just comes out of the graveyard, is fueled by the graveyard, and if Derek is just like destroy, damnation, Thoughtseize, Richard might just be able to be like, well, here's my Detective Phoenix, here's my Netherglyph over and over and over again.
I think you might be right about that. I guess I was discounting that because a lot of the mono black effects do not exile.
It's a very good point.
So Goblin Lore, draw 4, discard 3 at random.
Goblin card.
Goblin card.
Shout out to the goblins.
Goblin card spotted.
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere. So we're going to hope to discard 3 cards that aren't Hollow One and put some Hollow Ones into play.
Never feed after midnight.
Never feed after me. Oh, the Gremlins cards. So what do we go? Hollow One to the bin. That's not where that belongs. Bowmasters and the Marauding Mako. I think those were the 3 cards that were drawn.
I agree.
If I'm
I
being
agree.
honest,
I see a Lilion, a Faithless Looting, and one other mystery card in that hand.
I think it's Bloodcast. I think it's the new
it's-
Bloodcast.
It's still a Bloodghast, you're right.
Yep.
Because he wouldn't have Thoughtseized that.
Would not have thought seized the Bloodcast. No.
Now, interesting turn here. Probably looking at suspend that Demonic Tutor. I call it Demonic Tutor because
It basically is.
you're paying 2 mana and you're Demonic Tutoring eventually.
Yeah.
Just a little bit late. So probably going to grab Necrodominance on the turn he needs it. Allows him to set up, but just not going to be able to cast it on curve.
Yeah. Not going to be able to cast it on curve. Also, maybe thinking before if he gets into too much trouble, he has to Soul Spike. Though Soul Spike now is not going to take down the Mako.
5
Because
total toughness here, yeah.
here comes Faithless Looting. That's a pretty good draw.
And now it's going to be 7 toughness.
It's going to be 7 toughness. This Mako is nuts. Does this kill?
In response, he's going to Soul Spike it, and Rich is going to be saying, it's got 5. And he's like,
You'd be
don't
like,
do
no,
that.
just kidding.
He's like,
I'm
don't
not,
do that. He's
I'm
like,
not
"Don't."
doing that actually.
Rich is a good guy. Rich is
Yep,
like,
good guy.
Don't do that, bro. Got you, fam.
Yep.
Proceeds with the turn.
Proceeds with turn. This actually also demonstrating why Marauding Mako is so much better than Flameblade Adept. Like getting permanent +1/+1 counters is insane.
Yeah, and
Doesn't have menace, I guess, but
to show the difference, right? The
Yeah.
old Flameblade Adept on screen next to where the new
oh,
power creep
Burning
is bringing.
Inquiry.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my goodness.
This Mako is gonna be a 10 power creature.
This Mako is.
And Derek is looking at the camera like, please help me.
Please help me.
Let me out of here. You've been locked in a cage with a monster. And Rich going, yes, you're in here with me.
Yeah.
We're eating after midnight.
we fed the what are they called in Gremlins? They're not Gizmo. Never feed a something after midnight. What's the name of the creature?
I can't remember. Chat, help us out, chat, please.
Yeah. It's something. It's like a made up
Mogwai.
Mogwai. Yeah, that's right.
Never feed a Mogwai after midnight.
Wait, is this? And now Detective Phoenix is coming down. Is this just?
this is lethal.
This is lethal. This is.
Oh, but not on. Just to give the Bloodghast haste, and then yeah.
I guess you can Soul Spike the Bloodghast if you didn't discard enough cards.
And
Nope.
he says, you know what? If that's how I'm winning this game, I'm not winning this game.
Yeah.
And scoops it up. Super cool showing here by Rich, exhibiting exactly why the Mako is so incredibly powerful. Just casting 2 spells, putting 7 counters on a 1-drop.
Yep, and here's a Hollow One deck that is featuring Vengevine. I don't think Rich is on the Vengevine version, but this deck is also super sweet because it does the same thing. You're trying to cheat a bunch of guys into play. The Mako is going to get super buffed. This version, and maybe Rich's version, also playing Blazing Rootwalla, which is just a free guy. Detective Phoenix to give something flying and haste and buff it a little bit. The aforementioned Hollow One, you can just put a bunch of guys into play. Burning Inquiry, Goblin Lore,
The whole 9 yards.
the whole 9 yards. This deck is sweet. Against your mono black opponent, pick your poison if that's still in the deck. Probably not bad here, getting them to sacrifice their only enchantment. Dismember, I guess, would deal with some of their threats if you want to dilute your deck a little bit, slow yourself down. Rough and Tumble, not going to do anything. You're not really interested in Pyroclasm in this matchup. And Blood Moon, not going to do anything against a mono black deck.
Yeah, I think in this spot you might not even board. You might just be like, I
Yeah.
go faster.
Yeah.
Big dumb thing hit.
Yep, exactly. Surgical is something that you might be interested in if you're looking at taking, answering the Phoenix a little bit, tag something.
We've seen some really crazy lines where turn 1, Burning Inquiry, you discard a Shieldred or a Necrodominance, just surgical your Necrodominance.
Exactly.
But I don't think that that's worth bringing in the slots. Also, you have to look at what you cut.
Yeah. Necrodominance here. Dauthi Voidwalker is pretty good against the graveyard deck. Can't be recursioned if you're going into the Shadow Realm. They're probably going to be looking at taking and Break the Ice. No. Force of Despair. Honestly, maybe. Force of Despair is a pretty interesting way to answer your opponent's stuff coming into play in their turn. So it's kind of like a Wrath-ish. Like, okay, I will sacrifice my 2 black cards to Wrath you on your turn.
The Hollow One deck does kind of play in these high roll scenarios where they're like, well, 3 Hollow Ones and a Vengevine, and you're just like, well, actually pick it all up.
Yeah, pick it up. I'm not
Yeah.
doing this. Meat Hook Massacre, probably not going to get a ton of value if you tag something early, but again, as we saw, the Mako tends to get really big really fast.
It might just be a situation where he just wants to cut Thoughtseize. He's just like, this is just not
Yeah,
good.
I think you're definitely you're interested in cutting Thoughtseizes. That'll give you a couple of extra spells to bring in. Probably bringing in going up on 1 surgical.
I really like Deluge here. I think Deluge is probably like where you want to be. If you're going to lose 7 life anyways, don't do it every turn. Just do it once.
Just do it once. Just only deluge stuff away. So definitely some options here.
Rich keeping a 7.
Derek keeping a 6. Some Boggarts. Inquisition. Inquisition on the play is better because if you get to tag the Shark, that's going to be really good.
Yeah, that Thoughtseize was really brutal because it was a 4-point life swing turn 1.
Yeah. So what do we got? We got Bowmasters, Bloodghast.
Is that a...
That's Goblin Lore.
That's a lizard?
No, it's Goblin Lore, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no, you're right.
It's like a weird art for it, I'm
That's,
pretty sure.
Yeah, that's not Rootwalla. That must be something else. So the hand is 3 lands, and then...
Yeah, it's that Goblin Lore.
Oh. Beautiful art.
It's a very cool art, yeah.
I love the art. I love the goblin going, I don't give a crap about this.
I don't know what's going on here. So Faithless Looting, Bloodghast to the bin. Oh, it is a Rootwalla. You were right.
Okay. It's a weird art.
Oh, it's a Stored Champs Rootwalla.
That's why I've never seen it.
Oh, that was the like Hollow One Stored Champs, right? Because it was like Blazing Rootwalla, Vengevine, Hollow One.
That's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. They just pick a deck and they're like, these are the promos.
One day we'll get goblins there. One day.
One day.
Goblins has had to have some already.
Goblins has had a bunch of promos.
Yeah, but like not like I'm saying like featured like nowadays.
Oh,
it's like,
I see.
And then Harbinger and Snoop and Kiki Jiki.
Yeah.
Like, no.
What about the Love Your LGS promo? Here comes Mako. The Goblin King.
Okay, I haven't seen that one actually.
Burning Inquiry.
And this is a kind of a situation we were talking about where
I think March is definitely going to hit this Mako in response, right?
yeah, and it's trying to figure out which card to discard. Your 3rd land is the Harbinger. The Damnation cleans up the board, but you don't have 4 lands, so that makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
So we're gonna hit your Mako for 2.
Make it
Because
down.
what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna discard all your spells here.
Mm-hmm. He's like, that's exiled.
Yep. So that's exiled.
So it's just representing it as exiled.
Yep. Representing it as exiled. Both players gonna draw 3 and discard 3.
Bada bing, bada boom. Maybe something good happens. Maybe something bad happens. That's the beauty of this deck. When
That's the beauty of Burning Inquiry. Who knows?
nobody knows
Nobody knows.
except for the fire. The fire knows.
Yeah, the fire knows. Actually, I think that deck we saw that was like Necro Dominance Eldrazi.
Mm-hmm.
That the guy who wrote that deck is this guy with the books on
Oh,
fire.
so
He's
true.
just cooking.
It's like you don't understand.
Yeah, my brain is so huge.
Pitching. Oh my God! All the lands
So pitching 3 lands, leaving him with Necro Dominance
and not.
and I think the other card was
I think it was,
Inquisition.
it was 2 Boggarts.
Well, 2 Boggarts and a
Oh
Swamp.
my
Just
God!
hit the bin.
It's a.
Oh, it's Profane Tutor.
Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, okay. No
Didn't-
hollow ones coming down though.
It didn't see. Oh, never punished.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez, Rick. Oh jeez.
Yep, never punished. Here we go.
Never didn't have. That's why we play modern.
That's why we play Modern, baby. Drew the land off the top. Got a Necro Dominance. How much are you going to Necro Dominance for here? You're at 21. At least 10, right?
I would. Yeah, I would go for
6.
10.
Oh, cowardly.
I would probably go to like. I would probably like take 15.
I think I'm interested in Necro Dominancing for more this first time.
You know you have a march, so next. I mean, you have to discard all the cards.
You can discard a bunch of cards, but I think so. We know Richard has Bowmasters in his deck because Bowmasters is in the graveyard and Rich is tapped out. So if you go to draw a whole bunch next turn and a Bowmasters gets flashed in, it's bad. It's bad for you. You take double damage.
And you're like, I don't know what happened. I swear.
Yeah,
I was just having fun.
I was just having fun, but does get to keep a pretty stacked hand here.
Little tangent. Would you unban Glimpse of Nature for elves because Bowmaster's legal?
I'd unban Glimpse of Nature anyway. That card doesn't do enough.
It'd be the same thing as Bloodbraid Elf, right?
Yeah, it's Bloodbraid Elf. I think that would be a safe unbanned. Elf Ball is like a scary deck from 10 years, 15 years ago. Actually, it's never been legal in Modern, but it just doesn't seem like it does enough. Oh wow, double Bloodghast off the fetch land. That's pretty exciting.
And this is your dream where you're like, oh, I'm going to get rid of these Bloodghast with the Faithless Looting or something, and then play a land. They all come back. It's like you cast double Reanimate for no life. You just like play
Hey,
the
it's
land.
Dom. Dom, what's it like being in the other side of the chat screen life?
How's it going on the flip side, as the kids say?
The flip side. That's how it's going. Yeah. But no, yeah, we're chilling. We're watching some Modern. We've been feeding people to Sam's Hammer deck all night.
Oh, baby.
Here comes. Yep, the Dark Hypno.
I hate to say it, but that's the best goblin ever printed. I I have to admit the only energies I've done well are either with Legacy, and Legacy's dumb, or with Fable.
Fable
is fantastic.
Fable's a great card. So Derek, it's pretty stocked hand here. We know has March, know has Fatal Push. Gonna suspend a Profane Tutor.
And I would assume that's for a damnation, because by the time that comes off suspend, his opponent will have flipped that Fable.
I flipped the Fable, yeah.
So you can just clean sweep it all up as long as he can get to that point.
Exactly. Rich doesn't have like a super fast clock here. Like has a lot of creatures in play, but a lot of them are sort of dopey. And with a Fatal Push and a March, especially because you can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna Necro Dominance for 10, and then I'm gonna March your guy for a billion.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't. Once you get to that point, it's really tough. Shout out to Dom. Dom saying he's at work, but he had to say hi to the Goblin and Folk,
That's us.
and we're chilling.
We're
Yeah.
chilling.
What do you think about Hollow One overall, real high level?
I think Hollow One is cool. I think that I think Mako brings it a little more in tune with what the rest of the format is trying to do, which is have a high roll plan. So like if you hit Magical Christmas Land and put 4 hollow ones into play on turn 2, it feels really good, but it also has a much more reasonable gameplay of like, I'm going to make a really big Mako. And when you had Flameblade Adept, you're like, okay, I'm swinging in for one big turn. And now that you can, build up into a 4/4, 5/5, 6/6, whatever, the deck is a lot more competitive on multiple axes. So you're not relying on your high roll to win games. Sometimes you can just like, play a reasonable game. So I think Hollow One is cool right now.
You're playing kind of a mid-range strat with a top-end payoff. Or
Exactly.
like high roll. And
Yeah.
I love that. That's a super good way to put it.
I mean, it's sort of like Frog too, right? Or
Yeah.
Oculus, where you have a high roll plan, but your backup plan is I am a Dimir control deck. So Hollow One is a Rakdos mid-range deck with a high roll plan.
And we're just seeing that kind of come to fruition here, right? Derek Havoc being forced to deal with the threats over time, and Richard like, well, I just have Bloodghasts. This Fable's creating free bodies that you have to pitch cards to kill.
Yep.
Like, Rich likes where he is, and right now he's just doing the mid-range thing.
Yep. So we're gonna discard this guy. We're gonna play him for free, which means we can also unlock this Hollow One at some point. Oh, we have Burning Inquiry. Ooh, so don't
Ooh.
discard that Hollow One.
Yeah. Nothing bad's gonna happen.
Nothing bad's gonna happen.
And this is kind of like we were talking about the high roll, right? Like Mako allows you to have like a crazy ceiling where you go like turn 1 Mako, turn 2 double Burning Inquiry, attack for 7.
Yeah, that would be sick.
And you're just like, oh my god.
And you put in a bunch of Hollow Ones when
Yeah.
you did that. Yeah.
You're like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what. Suddenly I have a bunch of power and toughness in play. So
This shark is good.
the shark is good.
Flipping a profane. Okay, looks like Fell the Profane, a tutor, and I can't see that bottom card.
I think we've mixed up our graveyard and our exile zone.
Something that happens all the time. Derek hopefully not having anything out of the graveyard here. As long as there's no synergies, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't think he does. Okay, so did not discard the Hollow One. Great news. Here comes Hollow One.
Oh,
Here
baby.
comes another Blazing. Oh no, that's the Brute Walla from earlier.
Here's Hollow One. Do 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 do.
Derek in that exchange picked up Shieldred, so that's good. That's good for him.
Having a Necrodominance and a Shieldred is a pretty good way to bury, as long as it has enough life to pay. Going to 10 here.
Going to 10. I mean, you can pay a lot. I think.
But do you play around Bolt?
That's
Tough.
I don't think you play around Bolt because Richard has no cards in hand.
Oh, never mind.
So
I think mana up.
I think you just pay 9.
I like that.
Pay 9, gain 9 essentially. So go to 18. Oh no, yeah. So you go to 1, gain 18.
Gain 18.
That's what it is. Yeah. So you go to 19. Have a bunch of cards in your hand.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good.
Hopefully you come up with a Soul Spike here, but even if you don't, I'm gonna keep backup Shieldred. There's a Soul Spike. What else you got?
And do you think that he right now is just doing the Soul Spike thing, or is he keeping his hand? Because it looks like he's moving to discard.
I think he's probably doing the Soul Spike thing.
Okay.
He also could be doing one Soul Spike now and keeping the other Soul Spike for later.
I like this. Slow down your opponent's clock.
Yep. So kill that, gain 4. Yep. Again.
Richard flicking the card makes me think of Sling Gang.
Yep.
Where it's like second in response. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, because I think what you can do here is you just pitch all these lands into the bin, and then keep your hand of.
Yeah, and I mean, like, this is the situation where Derek wants to be, right? He wants to be slowly gaining advantage. Slowly, the advantage bar shifts towards him as the games progress. And Richard trying to play the mid-range strat, but he's getting the more aggressive cards.
Richard also drew Goblin Lore, so this is lose 8 life.
Oh,
so draw 4, lose 8.
Go to 11.
Go to 11.
Oh, that's so painful. Wait, he lost 8. He'll be at 9.
He'll be at 9, yeah.
I can't do math either.
And he'll have 1 card here. Hopefully, it'll be a good one.
It looks like.
I guess Derek will have to. Yeah, you
did
pick.
Did he? Oh, he would probably lose life afterwards.
Yeah, once the spell's done resolving.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh, he did it!
Look at that.
He did it, baby. He did it. Okay, but now he's at 9, right?
Yeah, now he's at 9, or he should be at 9.
Yeah, I think they missed
He actually
it.
also should be at 15, so he should be at 6.
I think they missed it.
I think they're missing the shoulder triggers. Yeah.
I think that's enough life. What we should tell them.
No, it's
No?
a
Oh,
trigger.
it's just missed.
It's a
Oh,
trigger, yeah.
for
So
sure. There's nothing we can do.
nothing we can do. You're allowed to miss your triggers, unfortunately.
Tears.
Um, so yeah, it's gonna take some life. Childred's gonna block and kill a Bloodghast. Pass back. Oh, Richard, you should be at 6,
Oh, the pain.
which means you should be dead.
Oh, the pain.
Oh well.
Sometimes
Yeah, Profane Tutor goes off technically before you make the land drop, but whatever.
we're learning the deck. You know what? Sometimes I've talked to Derek actually, and he's going from a graveyard deck to this Necro dominance deck, and he's really enjoying the shift. But there's a huge learning curve.
There's a big learning curve, and there's a lot of things to keep track of. Oh, okay, they figured it out.
Yeah, Rich realizes it because legend, and Derek being like, "Oh, you're right." And you know what? That's how Magic is. There's so many lines of text on these cards. We can do our best to try to play them to the best of our ability, and mistakes are going to happen. That's why we have a community.
That's exactly. So tutoring a card. If I were Derek, I think I'd get Soul Spike
Oh, Soul Spike is really good right now.
because you Soul Spike Richard's face, but you also draw 17 cards,
And then you probably hit another one,
and you probably hit another one,
and then you probably
and then you win the game because you Soul Spike Richard twice, and you go to the next game. Meat Hook Massacre.
oh, this can be hot.
That's actually also kind of sick.
So if he has land here, he can go Damnation and Meat Hook Massacre. Oh, he doesn't have Damnation.
He doesn't have donation. He also already played a land for turn
Oh, that's true.
because he played it before the suspend card went off,
Oh, okay.
technically.
That's why.
But yeah, Rumble in.
Oh,
You've got to block.
I think Rich double blocks here.
Yeah,
He just chumps. Okay.
just jumps.
Says this Fable is important. I'm gonna keep it.
2 mana. Oh, we're gonna Meat Hook for 3. No, this kills your Shieldred. Don't do that.
Oh, he's realizing it now. It's
Yeah.
it's really tough sometimes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all good.
Yes, I was gonna say sometimes the cards play you. Sometimes you play the cards, and it's really tough because there's so many ways that these cards can interact. There's so many different ways you can play the cards.
Nope, Meat Hook Massacre stays in play.
And you're right. This deck does feel like a legacy deck. Super high power, super efficient at what it's doing. Right, you can draw a billion cards, but with all that power,
We should tell them that Meat Hook Massacre is an enchantment. It should be in play.
and then there's more triggers.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Faithless Looting getting flashbacked out of the graveyard. Gonna give Rich a good amount of card selection here. Pitching the Phoenix because it can get cast out of the graveyard, I believe.
Yep. Or you can also collect evidence. I think the other thing is the other reason to potentially get rid of your own Children is you have backup Children.
Ah,
Right.
that's right.
So his plan all along could have been, kill your board. I don't care if I lose my Children because I have backup Children.
yeah, and he knows that he can play to that out, and now he has a much more comfortable position to play the game in.
Yeah. So now, yeah, Richard's going to 5. He's not gonna.
Oh, that-
Okay,
oh,
you
that-
can cast Galvanor if you want, but you will die. So we're
Oh.
going to game 3 for sure.
Sheoldred doing the Lord's work there, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Being able to being able to carry Derek to this game. Sometimes your opponent wants to draw cards, and Sheoldred's just like, nah,
Nah, don't.
don't do that.
Sheoldred is especially punting against this Hollow One strategy when you're trying to cast Goblin Lures and
Oh
when
my
you're
God.
trying to cast Burning Inquiries, and it hurts a lot. You don't necessarily want to pay 6 life to draw 3 cards at random and then discard 3 cards at random.
I had a really crazy turn against. I was playing David, one of the grinders here. He
Mhm.
went turn 1 Tameo, turn 2 Bowmaster, turn 3 triple Burning Inquiry, shoot you for 9, make it 10/10.
Oh no.
I flipped my Tameo, and I was just there like, oh, oh.
How's the backup? Yeah, let's check in. So
Sam doing the Sam thing.
Sam doing the hammer thing. So hammer versus Tron. Here comes Pithing Needle naming Ugin probably.
I would assume Ugin. How do you feel about this matchup?
I don't know about this matchup. So Sam only has 1 card left in hand. Probably looks like they must have mulliganed pretty low here. Tron is also just really powerful. I think in a position where Hammer Time has not very many cards in hand and Tron has a bajillion, I think I'm favoring Tron.
I would also,
If I'm being real.
I was gonna say, in my soul, I believe in Sam. Hammer Time is able to go fast enough and close this game out. The issue is Brandon has all the cards and all the mana,
Yeah.
and I think this game might go really fast.
Yeah. So we'll see. But again, there's also the thing where if that last card in Sam's hand is the card from Assassin's Creed,
The Battlefield Forgottenness.
the Battlefield Forgottenness, Brandon dies on Sam's next turn. So it's give and take.
Does Brandon have any instant speed way to interact?
They would have
Kozilek's command?
Kozilek. Well, does Kozilek's command deal with colorless creatures?
It just exiles a creature.
I think it might be creature with one or more colors.
Oh. Battlefield improvisation. We're improving. It's part of it.
We're joking. We're yokesters. So here comes 4 mana. No, never mind. This game's over.
Oh.
Sorry, Sam.
Ope. Well, fast one way or the other.
Yep. So Ulamog gonna exile 2 permanents.
Tagging those lands if I've ever seen it before.
Probably tagging the lands. Although tagging, make a construct. Sure.
And you can block this construct for like 10 million years.
Yep. Make a construct.
And then if he hits, if I was him, I would hit the 2 non-saga lands. So he goes through his entire turn. But being very respectful of Sam's ability to kill him on the following turn, hits the hammer and the saga themselves, saying, well, I'll beat your 1 Ink Moth.
Oh, it's so close. What a game.
Casting an Ornithopter.
Casting an Ornithopter. Last card in hand is
Stoneforge.
Stoneforge.
Oh. Mana value does not have a color restriction. Thank you, chat. Appreciate you.
Mana value. Okay, great. I wasn't sure because all these Eldrazi cards, a lot of them are like 1 or more color. Oh no, I guess Ugin is 1 or more colors. Eldrazi is not.
There have been some that specify non-colorless, so I can understand that too.
Again, there's so many different ways of doing the exact same thing. Like the new Ugin, right?
Yeah.
Is
different than the old Ugin.
Different than the old Ugin. True.
That one says 1 or more colors.
That one does say 1 or more colors. Yeah. So have a hammer in play here.
I will say I took my Trash Master out. After watching this, I might put it back in.
I think you should put Trash Master back in. Yeah. Trash Master does work. I mean, we know Hammer is lurking around.
I gotta respect Sam. If we face up, I gotta be able to have my instant speed shatters.
Right. This is a lot of mana. How much is this?
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay. Uh-oh.
We promised the end of this game.
Yep. So Jumperoonie.
Attack trigger.
Attack trigger. Exile a bunch of cards.
Sam's counting his library to see how many cards are left.
So,
trying to figure out whether or not I should just concede. He decides not to concede to look at a draw.
I don't know if he's looking at a draw necessarily.
No, like at
a draw.
Before he concedes. Because he could have something, he just doesn't know what.
Right.
But I assume after the draw step, if he doesn't have an ability to win or do something, he'll just actually.
Well, his first
draw step isn't even his draw step.
His draw step is the mind control turn.
And that's infinite pain. That's a paladin in his hand.
That doesn't do anything.
You can't even cast it.
Every single card on Sam's battlefield is autographed. That's pretty cool.
Shout out to Sam.
That's really cool, actually. Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, and shout out to Sam. He's got me a lot of my autographed goblins too. For my birthday, he was at MagicCon. My birthday was the 15th, and MagicCon I think was the 16th and the 17th. So
I should know when MagicCon was.
I don't. I was gonna say
if anybody in this room knows when MagicCon was, it really should be me.
I haven't seen my brother in person in like 2 years, and so we were at MagicCon Chicago together.
Oh, fun!
And we met Brian Kibler, and we got to like talk to him and shake his hand. And that was like one of my highlights because I always looked up to Brian Kibler growing up.
Kibler is awesome. Yeah. They had a really funny at my first MagicCon on staff. There was somebody who was blocking the doorway. And I told him, I was like, hey, you can't be here, man. You can't be blocking this doorway. You gotta move. And it was Kibler. And I felt really bad. I was like, no, man, I'm sorry. No,
he's like me. He's like me.
It's like it's fine.
You're different. You're special. We love you.
You still can't block the door, Brian, but you got to stand over there.
Yeah, shout out to all the amazing people who make Magic what it is. And, if you love Magic, just play it because one day you might be one of those people. You never know when you're going to be a legend.
You never knew when you're gonna be a legend. Exactly.
We're all writing our own stories.
Everyone exactly. So I think what's happened here is Brandon is just like run your contract token into my Emrakul and doesn't really want to do anything else. Like you can't cast the Paladin, and you probably don't want to cast the Colossus Hammer.
My only question would be, would you run your Ink Moth into the Emrakul instead to Stone Rain your opponent?
Oh, that's an interesting point.
I don't know if they want to, but that would be something that I would do just to take Sam off the opportunity of doing it. He does cast the hammer
Oh, we're gonna cast the hammer.
to make sure that no Sigarda's Aid shenanigans work.
Oh, sure, because if you get Sigarda's 8 off the top, here it is.
And Sam's like, no.
Sam, I think maybe gets one more turn.
I think he's really tanking because this is the spot. Oh, it's just a land.
Opal.
It's a basic island or basic plains.
2 mana. Oh, there's a card in hand. Oh, we can play the Paladin.
It is the Paladin. Oh, we knew about the Paladin.
We knew
He
about
just
the
couldn't
Paladin,
cast
right.
it. So the Opal is the source that he needed. So he can put it on the Paladin, but the Paladin can't attack. And now, I don't know. Next turn he can activate this Ink Moth and put the hammer on it and just win this game.
Assuming that Brandon does nothing.
Assuming he
but-
does not destroy the hammer.
Kill the Paladin.
Okay,
Yep.
Paladin's also a good take.
Paladin down.
That's safer. This loses to the battlefield.
Battlefield improvisation.
Yeah, forgottenness. The the hard part about this is now Brandon has to be the aggressor and just hope that Sam can't kill him on the backswing.
I think it's
pretty safe for him.
Yeah,
to be
Brandon-
aggressive here.
we'll have a big blocker, and we'll be decimating the library and also getting in for at least 13.
The only
Actually,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and get Sam's only blocker, or no, maybe already block with something.
The only thing I'm scared of here is this Ink Moth carrying that hammer,
Igmoth carrying hammer is what's scary. Yeah.
and so I'm trying to figure out, besides.
Oh, he's counting the number of instant speed effect or free equip effects in his graveyard.
He says there are
So
4.
3. That's 4. Yep. Then Paladin.
Counting his outs. If they're
Paladin.
all
Okay, so
exiled.
all four Paladins down, all 4 battlefield improvisations down.
He's like,
Yep,
good
that's
games.
it. That's the game.
Well played, both players. Brandon taking the match down. Ulamog doing the Ulamog thing. It's hungry, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just eats and it can't stop. It's ceaseless in the hunger, and it ate Sam's hammer deck.
Ceaseless is the other one, right?
Oh, what's the? I thought it was Ulamog Ceaseless Hunger because then it's Ulamog Infinite Gaia.
Oh no, you're right. The first one is Infinite Gyre.
Because I always forget that one exists because no one ever played it. It was always either Butcher of Truth or Emrakul Spaghetti Mom.
Yep. And it looks like here Richard just finishing off Derek.
Oof.
Had a whole ton of permanents in play. Probably just got a nice high roll with the hollow ones. I mean, there was 2 hollow ones, and I saw a shark and the goblin shaman getting into the red zone.
Yeah.
Derek flashing a damnation. He's like, "Oh, if only I had this damnation." So now we're coming back to us. That's us here in the booth. You can tell it's the booth because I always go like this. I have to futz with my hair as soon as I see myself.
I understand having long hair is a blessing and a curse because it gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. Anyway, that was the end of round 3. We'll be back for one more. Is it?
We got some stuff to talk about.
No, I know.
I have some very exciting news.
You've got you do the ad read this time.
Well, I feel like you all are very excited because you know that you can sell your cards to NRG Store. And if you're really excited about the new cards that came out in Tarkir, you can use those funds to, though, reinvest in cards that possibly could go up. Cheap cards can always go up, folks. And at the NRG series, you can pick your cheap cards up here. And we would love to come talk to you if you have the time to come down, play at the store, Modern, on Wednesdays. And I was going to say, if you like old cards, if you like new cards, if you like these standard staples from I don't even know how many years ago,
That is so cool.
I will say that I remember buying my Rekindling Phoenixes for $30 a piece, and I still have all 4 of them. And History of Benalia was the card that beat Rekindling Phoenix back in the day. But
Yes.
but with that, we have one more thing to show you, and that is the schedule. If you are interested in coming down to Nerd Rage Gaming Store, we have weekly play. Mondays is 5 p.m. GEDH. Oh, I hate acronyms. 6:30 is Digimon. Tuesday, One Piece and Marcana, 6:30s. Wednesday, Modern, 6:30. That's what we're doing right now.
That's what we're doing right now.
You want to be on commentary? You want to be on camera? Come bring your spicy brew, win a match. We'll put you on here. Thursdays, 5 p.m. for EDH, 6:30 Pokemon. Friday, Legacy Standard One Piece, and Saturdays, Digimon. If you're interested in any of that, come on down. You can Google Nerd Rage Gaming, and till next round, we'll be here. And we're back.
We're back. You even said it was a transition. I just wasn't paying attention. Hello, everybody. Welcome to round 4 of Weekly Modern at the Nerd Rage Gaming home store. We did it. We got Sam all 4 rounds. This has been the Hammer Time residency tour here up against Ryan Reynolds, Boros Energy, with new cards. He has the Voice of Victory in his deck. The 1/4, your opponent can't cast spells on your turn. Attack and make 2 1/1s.
My brother's been talking about this card. I think it's a 1/3, but my brother's been talking
Oh.
about this card because it's so good in the fact that you can vial it in. It's a human, so it's good for all of your human synergies in the human deck. God, please let humans come back.
Humans is such an awesome deck. Before I played Merfolk, I actually played Humans because I really like Kindred decks and I really like Aether Vial. And after Humans kind of like fell off the charts, I was like, what's another good Aether Vial deck? Settled on Merfolk.
It's hard to find good Aether Vial decks. They're going down.
I know, and even the what do you call it? The Orzhov deck is playing fewer and fewer Aether Vials now, which is sad.
It's so
It's
sad.
getting away from its roots.
The card is just so strong, and as Counterspell is like the answer sometimes to these combo decks, to these decks that just like go so fast. You're just like hard no. It's nice to have something that just plays through counterspells.
And Merfolk is a deck that plays Aether Vial and counterspells. What's not to love?
So busted.
What a great deck. Best deck in Modern.
Yeah, I was gonna say the grass is greener on the other side, but it's the ocean. It's just water.
It's just water.
Both sides.
You know, I was actually thinking it's a shame that April Fool's was not on a Wednesday this year, because one thing we should do if it ever is on a Wednesday is we should just switch decks and not tell anybody.
1000% would do it.
I think that would be really funny.
Just stare at them like they're crazy.
yeah.
What do you
no,
mean?
I always play goblins.
Are you kidding
Obviously.
me? I'm a merfolk person.
Yeah. This is where have you been?
It's the merfolk ringleader. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, the goblin queen and the merfolk ringleader, obviously.
I drafted dragons. God forbids. I drafted dragons in Tarkir Purleys, and someone started calling me the dragon ringleader, and I was like, no, we're not that cool.
We're not that cool. All right, so Ryan leading off, fetch into a 1-drop. So bunch of 1-drops it could be, some sort of Ocelot Pride. The Ocelot Pride, there it is. Very good.
And a pregame here from Sam, getting that ley line down. I'm a huge fan of ley lines. This one doesn't just sit there; it does stuff.
It does stuff. It gets improvised onto your guy.
Ooh, improvise is really good. We
Yep.
were talking about Kappa Cannon here earlier. Ryan, big fan of this Boros deck. Been on this deck for a long time. Post bannings, still played the deck. Tried Demir for a little while. Back now on Boros Energy.
Yeah, again with the new card, I think Boros Energy is just it's a good deck still. You can take care of as many different things as you want. It's still going to be good.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing
There's
about Modern.
3 Thraben Charms in hand.
Oh no.
Oh, it was only 2. It's 2 Thraben Charms and an Ajani.
Okay. You had me scared because that, as good as the game is starting, 3 Thraben Charms might just like close this out. If Ryan can answer every creature that Sam puts into play, Sam is an equipment deck. He needs creatures.
Right, exactly. So destroy an enchantment, deal equal to twice the number of creatures you control to target creature, exile any number of cards in target player's graveyard.
Twice the number of creatures is actually crazy. 1 is 2, 2 is 4, 3 is 6. Like
4 is 8.
4 is 8. I'm a goblin. We struggle
Yeah,
at math.
5 is 10.
I couldn't go higher than that.
13.
26.
There you go. 41.
82.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're learning.
37.
60, 74.
74.
Yeah.
You do math the same way I do, where you
Break
add them
it
up
up.
separately.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way you can do big numbers. And
Big numbers.
That-
Oh, the other mode, destroy target enchantment.
Stone Rain for 2 mana.
Stone Rain for 2 mana.
Ryan, not just being enamored by that first line of text, reading the whole card and, wow, utilizing it to its fullest extent.
Yeah. I like that, reading the whole card. I mean, I've been guilty of that before, right? Where I'm just like, what does this card still do?
And the charms especially. You just
Yeah.
like, you're like, oh, I love that one. And you just forget that the other ones exist.
Sam, meanwhile, here staring down a bunch of 1/1 cats. Not that scary yet, but gonna become scary.
I will say, they don't look scary. They feel scary.
They feel scary.
You're like, oh, impending doom. I'm going to get killed by some felines soon.
No, this deck doesn't have the impending card. That's the Orzhov deck. Yeah. I guess this one you could play the white Overlord.
Oh,
I don't
the
think I don't think
spores.
Boros Energy would, but it would be interesting if they did.
And making double flyers at the end step with Ocelot seems pretty cool.
You could make a lot of you could make a lot of flyers with Ocelot.
That was a goblin bombardment.
That was a goblin bombardment.
I got
So
my goblin senses are tingling.
goblin senses are tingling. So you got your goblin bombardment also online with the Ajani. So play your Ajani, immediately flip your Ajani with goblin bombardment, or just play your bombardment, set up Ajani for a second turn. Probably going to shoot down the Memnite and keep having Thraben Charm up for interaction whenever you want.
Sam had something really interesting here. He could have put the Leyline Axe on it in response with the United Forgottenness, Battlefield Forgottenness, and instead decides to just let it go because his opponent has enough cats to kill it, even if he equipped it. Decides next turn to set up a wider board. If Ryan wants to shoot all his stuff, he has to really expend all of his creatures to do that. And then next turn, he can do the same play of just throw this Leyline Axe on my germ, knock it.
So theoretically, how big can this Nettlecyst get? So Nettlecyst is a 3/3 right now.
Is it 6?
It could be 6. You can put it on the. So what are we destroying? We're killing the germ. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So it was a 3/3 germ down.
And anything that Nettlecyst goes on is going to be too big to kill. The issue is, in response to the target, you can just kill it.
Right. So here comes a Ajani. Here comes a 2/1. How close are we to the city's blessing also? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sacrifice the 2/1 cat, make an Ajani, bring the cat back. 5. We have city's blessing online, so during Ryan's end step, going to make a metric ton of cats.
And I feel like this game might be over.
I think
I
by
hate-
the time Ryan makes an additional, it is. I think it's just over because Ryan is going to make four more 2/1s and 2 2/2s, and then throw everything at Sam.
And that's enough to just burn him out, Sling Gang style.
Yeah, it is a Sling Gang. Yeah,
We're going to game 2 here.
I think Psy wrote a song about that, right?
Aw.
Right, Sling Gang style.
This Boros energy list looks pretty spicy. What is that? Conduit Goblin?
Conduit Goblin.
I didn't know that. I know that card existed, but I
I-
didn't know that was seeing any play.
What does it do? So you make 2
So-
energy when it comes to the battlefield.
And then I forget the rest of it because I stopped reading after that. But I'll be completely honest.
At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay energy. If you do, another target creature gets +1/+1 in haste.
Oh,
That's kind of gas.
that's really good actually. It's a 2-mana bear that gives you energy for your other stuff, so that the energy stuff you have is souped up. By itself, that turns on your Guida Souls. That allows you to jump up something with Guida Souls on ETB. If you have Guida Souls and Conduit Goblin, you immediately get to use 3 on the Guida Souls because it gives 2 plus the 1.
2 plus the 1, exactly. That's actually pretty sick.
So sequencing wise, that might be why that's in the deck, which is really interesting because, yeah, looking at this card, it doesn't seem like it would be super good, but in the energy shell, all these cards just are super powered up.
Yeah, and then maybe also we're thinking that in that 2-drop slot we have the Voice of Victory, the thing that's going to shut off spells during your turn, and also attack for essentially 3 because it's a 1/3 that brings in 2 1/1s, which also is really good with Goblin Bombardment, right?
Oh,
Because normally you'd be sacrificing those at the end of turn and they just go away forever, or turns into 2 1-damage pings for your opponent's board or your opponent's face.
Shock is traditionally good.
Shock is good, and Forked Bolt is even better.
Fork Bolt's even better, and sometimes Shock's added up. 2, 4, 6, 8. My opponent conceded. Great.
See, math, right?
That's just Sling Gang math.
That's just you're right. That is just Sling Game math, especially once you have Pashlik Bonds.
I don't know what happened. My opponent just scooped up their cards.
Is Pashlik Bonds the one that does extra
Oh
damage?
yeah.
Okay,
Oh, you.
I actually was not. I was not sure.
No, you commentated enough. You understand.
That's true. I was also confusing him with Ib Halfheart.
Oh,
Is that a card you ever play?
Goblin Tactician.
Yeah.
It's the one where you can sack 2 mountains to make 2 1/1s, and when goblins are blocked, they are sacked and deal 4
Yep.
to each blocking creature. Quite good.
Quite good.
Quite
yeah,
good.
from
That-
Time Spiral.
Oh, I wish that card was playable in Modern.
Doesn't he cost like 4 or 5 or something?
It's 4 mana for like a 2/2, and
Yeah.
then you can sack goblins to make goblins. But oh, if they're ever like, oh, I'm gonna block, you're just like, oh. That was actually in my sideboard against rhinos back in the day.
Oh,
Because
sure.
we'd be like attack, and then you don't want to block because all my guys
Because all my guys,
trade.
yeah, trade with your 4/4s.
But back to this match. Bless you, bless you.
Sorry about that.
No,
Trying not to see you directly into the microphone.
bless you,
So
bless
Ryan
you.
going 6, Sam keeping 7.
Yeah, I feel like is there a deck that mulligans better in this matchup? Do you think?
I would assume that Hammer would mulligan slightly better, just because you can assemble a 5 or 6 that just kills somebody on turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Boros Energy, the density of cards that are like just good on their own is also pretty high. Looks like Sam kept a hand with double Leyline Axe though.
Ooh, is that might be a nod to the fact that he has some way to equip it for free, or he's playing to that? He's like hoping to draw a pure steel paladin or something.
Also has a Wear Tear, which is going
Ooh.
to be a good answer to Static Prison, which is something that he's going to struggle to deal with, and Blood Moon, I guess, if Ryan kept it in.
I was gonna say, do you think that he'd be scared of Blood Moon in this spot? I think I could see an argument for it, but I wouldn't be. Like it turns off your sagas. Maybe he's worried of some like that prevent the
Blood Moon stayed in the deck.
yeah. I mean, if it's in the deck, there's reasons to play around it, and maybe Sam is just being respectful of the fact that there will be blood moons in this match, and he just doesn't want to be caught with no white sources.
Right. The other thing about these Leyline Axes is it does turn on your Mox Opal immediately. He didn't have a turn 1 play to do anything with his 2 mana, but having 3 mana on turn 2 is also going to be pretty good.
It's a very good point. He could play a Nettle Cyst here, and I think Nettle Cyst is probably the
Oh
best,
my god.
the best card here.
Nettle Cyst would be huge.
You're just like, oh, here's my big dude. You don't kill it. Equip these axes. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, bonk. Build your own hammer with these.
These axes. You just like turn 2 axes sideways, and you're like, yeah, it's a hammer.
Right, exactly. What is a hammer except a blunt axe, right?
Philosophy with goblin and merfolk.
Yeah, exactly. We're asking the big questions here. So, yeah,
Bin's the land.
put that land into the bin. Don't need that. Here comes
That's a hammer.
A hammer. So play a hammer. Go. So hand is land wear tear. So when Sam ever gets a threat, it could be pretty big.
And if he never gets a threat, then these equipments are just gonna sit here sadly.
Yeah, hopefully he does find a threat. I'm picking up the paladin would be the best here.
Definitely. Paladin just gets huge instantly. There's Guide into Ocelot Pride though. That's a little combo.
That's going to be a lot of energy very quickly.
Yeah, when I see these two 1-drops together, it makes me really want to have a Pyroclasm. I'm like, please. And you know it's bad when the Goblins player has deported Pyroclasm. I'm like, I'll take the L. Just don't kill me in the air, please.
Right. The first guide also turning on both guides, gonna gain the life and make 2 cats. So netting, going from 0 energy to 4 energy. So out of nowhere, Ryan's going to be able to have a pretty big board. Turn something into an angel. Have what do you call it? Have City's Blessing on display.
Doubling the tokens up, which is going to be huge because this Sajani's about to come down. Do you
Yep.
slam the Sajani here?
I would think so. Well, no, I would still think so.
Yeah, there's no reason to like worry about a board wipe. Sam doesn't play board wipes.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing that I would consider.
Yeah, so you're going to gain a bunch of life, go up to 6 energy. You're not worried. You can basically Alpha Strike because at the end of the turn you're going to have a million blockers, even if you Alpha Strike.
And Sam's really probably holding this wear tear for, now that I think about it, Goblin Bombardment.
Goblin Bombardment or Static Prison, yeah.
Yeah. And
so we're going to jump the Ocelot Pride coming in for 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 damage, and then at the end of turn with the City's Blessing, and is going to make... Yeah, so wear tear the Static Prison. Nothing going away. So you're gonna make two more 1/1s. No, four more 1/1s and another 2/2.
And sometimes 1/1s get games done,
Yeah, I think the 1/1s are gonna get the games done here.
which is really crazy because Modern is such a powerful format. Sam exhibited
Yeah.
such a powerful
And
play.
Ryan's like, still had all these.
It's like, oh, and that's really good games, both players. Yeah, Ryan learning what the United Forgottenness does.
Yeah.
I already forgot what it does, but
It gives somebody +2/+2 and you pick up all the equipments.
that's pretty good.
So I think what Sam was hoping for there was rip that card off the top, activate my Inkmoth Nexus, pick up a whole bunch of equipments, and you take so much
And
damage from my basically unblocked infect guy.
and playing the two ley lines were free. Just had to have them in your opening
Just
hand.
had to have him in your opening hand. Yeah, pretty good start. Just never, unfortunately, got a threat. So
Good games, both players.
good games,
Well
both
played.
players. But that's it. That's the modern night. So exciting stuff. Still a pretty cool format. It's nice to be out from under the boot of Underworld Breach. All kinds of strategies coming back. Hammer is coming back. Hollow One is the new hotness. Ugin is going to supercharge Tron. So very excited to see how Modern continues to develop with new Tarkir cards in the format and with Final Fantasy on the horizon. Going to be super sweet.
Play all your ley lines.
Yeah,
That's the goblin giving you advice. Just play
all your ley lines.
play ley lines, and Graveyard Hate's good, and Dampening Sphere is good, and just play goblins. Why not? You'll have fun.
Yeah, just that's the thing. Have fun. Make sure that when you're playing locals at your or playing weeklies at your local store, you can just play what you want. There's all kinds of fun stuff to experiment with, and tier 2 and tier 3 strategies still can win some games. And the RCQ season starting this weekend, starting very soon is Modern. So there's going to be lots of reasons to be testing Modern, picking up cards for Modern, preparing for Modern events, up to and including the Modern Showdown coming up from NRG Chicagoland, May 10th and 11th. Now, the great thing about this showdown is if you win it, not only are you queued for NRG Champs, which is a big cash tournament at the end of the year, but you also get a token made in your likeness. Wow, look at these. You could be as cool as Dom Harvey or May French or Sean Gallagher, Nikachu, any number of people who have been immortalized as tokens throughout the year. So very, very exciting. You're definitely going to want to come out and play Modern and get a chance to win money and get one of these tokens. That's obviously the most important thing is the token, frankly. That weekend, there's also a standard showdown on Sunday. And then in June 28th and 29th, there is in Indianapolis a double showdown weekend, which means on Saturday you're going to be playing Team Sealed. You and two friends or two enemies have a chance to queue all together. And you can be immortalized on a trio token. You can all be grasping for a food, or all channeling energy, or you can be three kids in a trench coat as a warrior token. That's what I would pick. I think that'd be really fun. What?
Legitimate business.
Yeah,
person.
legitimate business person. And then that Sunday, there's also going to be a 10K standard showdown, which once again, get a token, get qualified for champs, and just have a good time. Oh, the Tron deck. Unfortunately, the Tron deck, we cannot show it again tonight because they tied their match and went home. So hopefully the Tron, I'm sure there'll be more Tron throughout the weekend, or not the weekend, throughout the months. So you'll have to tune in next week, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I know. Yeah, hit the follow button, ring the bell. Is that a thing you can do on Twitch? I don't know. You can ring it on YouTube. I know that. You get a notification when the channel goes live. But yeah, this has been good. Yeah, I think it's time for goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night. Travel safe. Be safe. Log on to Arena and draft. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. Bye.
Go crazy.
Go crazy.